This episode of Limit Break Radio is made possible by our generous Patreon donors, including Tara Fug of Hyperion, Nico Zaccone of Cactar, Mars Angel of Balmung. Thank you so much for your support. If you want to support Limit Break Radio, visit patreon.com/limitbreakradio. Attention all hires, cat girls, dick giants, and vegetables. Do you know of any countries that are currently being subjugated? If so, then you need to call the Resistance Liberators right now. Call 1-800-555-LIB8-TOR and your link shall immediately for free consultation. If you or a loved one are currently being politically oppressed, then don't wait. Call today. 1-800-555-LIB8-TOR. That is 1-800-555-LIB8-TOR. Once more, 1-800-555-LIB8-TOR. Our link shell operator staff is standing by. 1-800-555-LIB8-TOR. One more time, that is 1-800-555-LIB8-TOR. Ask for Lise, Ms. Hext, or Not Yita today to see how you can get your country liberated at affordable pricing. That is 1-800-555-LIB8-TOR. 1-800-555-LIB8-TOR. Once more, that is 1-800-555-LIB8-TOR.
Live from Eorzea.
Limit Break with your hosts, Nero.
Now behold the horror you have wrought.
Kahlo.
I said don't take your clothes off.
Juxtaposition.
I don't get it.
Ascalia.
Holy shit, totally forgot about him.
And Mika.
Oh my god.
LimitBreakRadio.com.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Limit Break Radio, episode 153. Now, I legitimately debated whether or not to open up this week's show with more dino tracks to make it seem like an even more elaborate prank.
You know, if you would have asked us, we would have said to do it.
That we would get everyone into the studio, do the intro bit, and then just go into dino tracks for an hour and a half.
I would have liked that.
I mean, it would have been a good joke.
If I knew that, if I could understand the lyrics, I would have just started singing them myself.
But I think we would have pissed everyone off at that point.
I think we did actually make some people mad, didn't we?
There were a few people who were legitimately upset last week in the chat room.
You're not allowed to be legitimately upset on April Fool's Day.
Wait,
that's not a thing.
First of all, were they like newish sort of listeners, or were they people that you recognized?
I saw the words, "I'm considering pulling my sub."
You know what?
On April Fool's Day.
Do it. No, do it. Do it. We don't want your kind around here anymore.
Wow.
Jeez.
Racist.
Anyway, so to the 70 people that sat around for the better part of 40 minutes listening to Dino Tracks last week.
Why?
What is wrong with you?
Hey, now. Dino Tracks is pretty cool.
I actually really like Dino Tracks.
Number again. 800-588-2300 Empire.
That's completely wrong.
That's
not the number.
That's not at all what we said.
Why does Dex not have a mic?
What?
I have a what?
What?
I can't hear him.
You can't hear him?
No, it's like his mic's turned off.
Oh.
Was it turned off?
It was just for Nika. It was.
Well, that's fine. Why can't I hear Jack? That's okay. You can change it back.
Do you want? Yeah, I can do that.
I don't want
to hear. We can just take Juxta completely out of the mix just for you. The rest of the show could hear him.
No, it's okay.
Also take him out of the mix for me?
I mean, we could. It's just called muting him.
Oh,
we can
all right,
do that.
Great, cool. That's fine.
Congratulations, Juxta, on the egg killing prank last week. You are truly exceptional. Hashtag praise Juxta. Hashtag praise banging mage. Hashtag more Dino tracks.
More Dino tracks. I'm all for the Dino tracks. Anyway, thanks for joining us for Limit Break Radio. Actual Limit Break Radio, not just 45 minutes of Dino tracks.
That's not just what our voices are. Just 45 minutes of bullshit.
There were some, you know what, for those that were pissed off, there were just as many people that were like, I think I'd actually rather prefer this.
That's super fair.
Yeah,
it grows on you.
I could see that.
The following podcast contains opinions that may make you rethink why you subscribe to a free-to-play game and may lead to anal leakage.
Wait, what?
Listener discretion is advised.
See, that started off with me being like, all right, yeah, that's wait, what?
Yeah, that went a completely different direction.
Anyone who listens to Limit Break Radio and has anal linkage, correlation.
Linkage? What is anal link? Hang on, stop.
Human centipede is exactly what that
is. That is, first of all, not what the donation said, but I need to know what anal linkage is.
It's when you have little links that are living in your anus.
See, now I thought it would be.
I was thinking human centipede, like links.
Yes, that's exactly where I was going.
Where you're like, oh, well, I feel like if it's anal linkage, it would be like sort of like not quite human centipede because you would be connected ass to ass, right?
Yeah, like a Manhattan transfer. Do you not know what a Manhattan transfer is?
Well, I do now.
Yeah, now you do.
Say I don't,
you use a garden hose and you use that to...
Man, I just thought it was when you linked butt stuff.
Anyway, I was going to say that correlation does not equal causation.
Yeah, right. Anyway, so
God, I'm sad now.
Anyway, thanks for joining us for Limit Break Radio this week. We got a lot to talk about. Also, I do want to thank everyone for allowing us the week off last week. I know that it was April Fool's. We got you. Haha. Okay. All right.
Geeks are so gullible.
So, but we do actually appreciate the ability to take a weekend off. Obviously, it wasn't just April Fool's Day; it was also Easter. So, I know a lot of us got to spend time with family, which we don't often get to do on Sundays,
or often want to do on Sundays.
Right. So, but it was nice though.
It was.
I actually had a really nice dinner over at my uncle's house, and it was a nice night. So. We appreciate you allowing us that little bit of freedom. So, but yeah, for those that were really butthurt about it, well, that's April Fool's Day.
Let's complain about it.
Actually, something else that I want to throw in here really quick too. For those of you who maybe don't listen to Checkpoint because it's not really your cup of tea, or maybe the reason you listen to Limit Break Radio is for some reason because of Juxta specifically, he's actually going to be filling in for Norris this week.
Yeah, that's right. You're going to make your debut on Checkpoint Radio.
It's scary.
It should be.
I'm getting anxiety.
Do you guys know what you're getting in for with this?
No. Well, I mean, we have some idea because we do this show with him.
I would, if I was him, I would definitely be more afraid, like if I was Chris, than us of him, because he knows he has to be professional. He knows that there's a certain level of maturity.
He's gonna be afraid.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He should be more afraid than we are.
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. Definitely.
Are you?
Yes.
Anyway, also this weekend, in fact, actually tonight at about 11 p.m. Eastern, Checkpoint Radio is debuting on
98.5,
the Sports Hub of Boston.
There you go. Yep.
So for any of those that might actually be listening to this while you're out at PAX East, I don't know.
Oh, that's right.
I don't know why you would, but there might be a few people that are listening out at PAX East.
Because there's no FF panels going on today, so of course you've got to tune into us in the interim.
Make sure that you check out the Sports Hub tonight at 11 o'clock to check out the debut, the very first episode being broadcast on the Sports Hub of Boston. So that's pretty cool. That's really exciting. That's a huge station right there.
Oh my God, it's so big.
So that's what she said.
I was waiting for it.
But anyway,
that's your penis.
I do actually.
Is it news time yet?
God damn
Close.
Every time.
We're getting there.
Every time. But before we get into that, I do want to echo Kahlo's sentiment that, you know, for anyone who hasn't checked out Checkpoint Radio or, you know, subscribes to the LBR feed and just downloads the Checkpoint stuff through that, I really do want to encourage you to, you know, follow at twitch.tv/Checkpoint Radio, to subscribe to the Checkpoint Radio podcast. You know, all of the traffic that we get to the podcast is actually really important. The sources matter. So, you know, there's like, you know, and we really do want to try to make a very concerted effort with the Checkpoint Twitch channel. So, you know, I can't emphasize enough that, you know, you like stuff the way that it is. You like Limit Break Radio on its own Twitch channel. You want to see Checkpoint grow.
To check out Checkpoint Radio. No longer fake news with Juxta's credibility.
Great. Thank you, Frumpy Raccoon. That's very true.
But we do want to encourage everyone to check out the show, check out the channel, and you know, if you're lagging behind and, you know, you think like, oh well, I'll just do it next week. Don't put it off. Please help us out, and you can do that just by you know, following and visiting the website and stuff like that. So we want to encourage everyone to make sure that they're checking out Checkpoint Radio, and not just through, you know, the Sundays where we send hosts over to the Checkpoint channel, or, you know, the podcasts that we post, that we cross post through our own podcast feed. So that's actually really important. So make sure you do that.
And if you actually need to get something out of that, if you don't tune into Checkpoint, you might not know, but if we get, I think it's 60 reviews on our Checkpoint Radio iTunes thing,
yes,
we're actually going to dress Mr. Escalia up in a Bubsy cosplay designed by myself.
Yeah.
So at the very least, go over and, you know, listen to an episode and give us a review.
He agreed to that?
He did.
Yeah. So again, Checkpoint, twitch.tv/Checkpoint Radio, checkpointradio.com. Also, for those that happen to be in the Detroit area on Mondays, we sometimes, oh God,
Juxta. There is no LBR. Hashtag praise Juxta.
Glory to Juxta.
I don't know what that sound was.
That was weird.
That was me farting.
Was it?
No, but I wish it was.
Farting in pleasure.
It's like that's definitely a cell phone interference noise.
Yeah, it might have been mine. I don't know, but nothing's happening on my phone, so I just like threw it away from my monitor or from my microphone.
Wow, why would you throw away?
Nika just pitches her cell phone halfway across the room.
First world problems over here.
And one more thing that I wanted to mention. Sometimes on Mondays we do a little hangout over at the I think it's 526 or 625. I can't remember what the order of the numbers is. Main Street in Royal Oak. It's a bar down there. Upstairs is called Tequila Blue. But if you want to hang out and come to a...
Is it Juxta time?
It's always Juxta time.
Never Juxta time. But if you want to come and hang out and drink and play video games, we hook up some consoles to the TVs there on Mondays. You can do that. Check that out. It's called Tapper's Arcade. So, you know, hang out with us. Anyway, wow, I actually forgot to kick it over to our Eorzean studios, so we should probably do that. If you want to join us, by the way, you can do that on the Sergeant Tannis server. That's in the Goblet, 5th Ward, plot number 30. And, of course, we are going to be taking your calls today. Limit Break Radio on Skype, 810-515-8715, limitbreakradio.com/Discord. We're going to be talking about the Dengeki interview that Yosheep did. Some interesting tidbits out of that, but also a little bit later on in the show, we're going to be playing Stump the Staff for some pretty cool Final Fantasy prizes. That's coming up, and you can line your calls up right now. Limit Break Radio on Skype, 810-515-8715, limitbreakradio.com/Discord. Boob for Skuro.
Boob for Skuro.
Thank you.
At least it's not for Juxta.
Yeah, I don't think he needs any help.
Yeah,
where's our cheering and our bits, Aniro?
I don't know. I think people hate us.
Like, it's not like you obviously do the majority of the work for the show. If it wasn't for you, this wouldn't exist, right? And I do the majority of the outline. And Juxta puts his dumb little fake ads up there. But, like, this thing lives and dies by me and you and obviously mostly Kooky. Where's our love?
Do your job!
I think I make people hate me on purpose, though.
But they should still give you money.
I mean, yeah. I mean, they do.
Okay, well.
Even if they hate me, they do.
Give us money. Make us feel good, too.
No, don't.
Anyway, let's check out what's going on in FF14 news.
This is a limit-breaking news update.
So last week while we were off, thanks again for that, by the way, SE made a few adjustments to Eureka. Now, the big changes are an increase in the experience gained from chain bonuses that are multiples of 5, and they've also increased the amount of experience gained while defeating monsters with just 1 or 2 players. Other minor changes to lockboxes included less fireworks, Eurekan potions, and glamour items and equestrian rolls are now tradable.
Oh, thank God.
And subsequently worth 0.
Of course, yeah.
Well,
now, here's the question that I had, because, I mean, I feel like these changes didn't really do much. We actually just...
Nobody cares about Daniero's and Kalo's problem.
Thank you.
Fuck
That's
you.
so true.
We actually just
Praise to Juxta followers.
Shut up, Juxta, and all your followers. We actually just got a post the other day on our Limit Break Radio Facebook talking about a guy who got to level 20 and then actually de-leveled himself back down to level 10 to be able to help people at lower levels, because you actually retain all of your Magicite, your ability to teleport, and your ability to ride mounts, right?
Interesting.
And he wanted to basically level up not through the NM train, and basically, you know, put a party together, farm mobs like the Emperor's hairpin type mobs and stuff, and then if there was an NM that popped, go to it instead of just following around and AFK until something popped. And he found that it was basically impossible to do, that no one wanted to join and do a regular party, they just wanted to join and follow the mob train. And so it kind of makes me wonder, were these changes necessary, or
I think that, well, they were too late, I think.
Okay, so do you try and up them more to try and make it competitive with the NM train?
I think the only thing, if you want to try to get people away from the NM train, you've got to nerf it. You've got to either nerf the experience that comes out of it, or... You know what I mean?
So instead of making the other thing as attractive, you have to make this the NM train less attractive?
Yeah.
Yes, definitely, because it's way more convenient. So the thing is that even though you can't get crystals and loot from the higher level fates, if you are a low level, even though you're getting half the experience, it's still more than you're getting from the low level ones.
Okay, you know what? That I could get behind. If you make it so that if you're not the appropriate level for it, it is like severely nerfed.
Like there's you get 100 XP, there'd be no point in doing it.
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
Right,
I actually think that would be a fairly decent change.
Absolutely.
Sometimes you get instances where people will split into a low level train and high level train, where the low levels will just do the low level ones, but even still,
I've never seen that, not once.
Oh, I've seen that a couple times.
All right, well, and of course, what news update would be, what would a news update be without us mentioning some new function or merchandise being added to the cash shop? Luckily for you, we have both. SE has now added a shopping cart feature because apparently that wasn't a thing.
It sure wasn't.
I think you just instant buy everything.
Guys.
Yeah.
If you wanted to buy, 2 of every different kind of dye for glamour purposes, then you had to make 7 different transactions.
Wow.
Speaking for a friend.
Way to go, Square-Enix. Nice job.
Also,
good change.
They added 2 colors of Carbuncle slippers, the Mega Flare emote, Suck It Summoners, and the mount and furnishing from last year's Easter event.
I'm wondering, though, since they sold the Mog slippers at FanFest last year, do you think they'll sell the Carbuncle slippers in real life at FanFest this year?
Do you need Carbuncle
the answer
slippers?
is who cares?
Of course I do. They have to go with my Mog slippers that I still wear every day. I love them so much.
So what, are you going to wear 1 Carbuncle and 1 Mog slipper?
No, I'll just change it based on the day or based on my mood.
Okay. The free login campaign is back, so if you've been away from Eorzea and you're thinking about maybe trying out Eureka, you have until May 6th to do so. Once you log in, you have 4 days before your free login thing expires. For additional details, you can, of course, head on over to the Lodestone to find those.
And I would definitely recommend at least checking Eureka out. I mean, I know that, right now it's kind of just mob train. That's all there is, but,
Still gives you a feel for it,
Yeah, and there's still something to get out of it.
And this way you didn't got to put down the $12 or $15, whatever it would be for you, just to check it out for a day or two.
That as well.
Probably one of the only times that I feel like the free login weekend is actually really worth it. So, some other things that we can look forward to on the horizon is we do have the Letter from the Producer Live has been announced. This is live part XL3, I don't know, 38? Is that right?
Sure.
Whatever.
No, that's 43. 43.
43. Okay, whatever. It's
50,
another
right?
live letter, guys. It's another live letter. That's all that matters.
I believe that's 43.
Of course, the topic this time, the details, is this is going to be for patch 4.3 part 1, and the special guest will include global community producer Toshiro Murochi. Did I say that right, Nika? Who cares? I don't care.
Yeah, I think so.
The theme is questions for global community producer Toshio. That's a great theme.
I'm still waiting for the next live letter with our good friend Koji.
Yeah. Whatever happened to Koji? Koji's gone. They're never gonna speak of him ever again. You can obviously, like usual, submit questions that they will answer on stream and stuff like that. But that's to look forward to, and that's going to be happening on April 14th. So actually, it'll happen. We'll get to talk about it on the next show. Hopefully there's some good stuff. The last thing that I wanted to talk about, it's something that we have to at least mention because SE actually hit the mark here, and we give them enough guff that I think when they do something good, we should praise them for it, right? And I'm talking about their April Fool's joke, which was the Final Fantasy XIV Go app. There's actually
Gathering outdoors.
Yeah, this is actually one of my preferred April Fool's jokes that I saw this year. Didn't seem like, even from Blizzard, didn't really seem as good as they usually were.
So what I gathered from the chat room last week, what I gathered from the chat room last week is that this is what everyone really wanted us to talk about last week.
What?
Yeah.
How much we're enjoying the app? It's so fun. I broke 5 phones.
I really hope they talk about the FF14 Go app.
Okay, well, the fact that it was relegated to news, it's not like this would have been a big discussion topic anyway.
Nope, it sure wouldn't.
Like we go, oh yeah, that was funny, LOL, Pokemon Go, and we move on.
Spoilers, I already did that joke like last year.
Last year's joke was what? That like Uber for Chocobos? That was kind of funny too.
Yeah, it was. Yep, I remember that one.
Their April Fool's jokes are pretty on point. Now I just wonder why they can't put this much effort into anything else in their game.
Oh, ouch, Nika! You're supposed to be. Yeah, you're supposed to be the SE
that's like my burn for the day. I'm good.
One burn for the day.
Nika's too enamored over the announcements about FF15 from PAX.
Oh, gee. This is not an FF15
Dude, I've been like engaged in so much discussion about what all the different DLCs are going to be about. Like, I'm very passionate about bad storytelling.
Can I use my mute Nika button?
No.
Nika, we just look. We're actually going to let you talk about that, but wait until FEC next week, and you can talk about it all you want. Okay. Okay. Great. Anyway, that's it for the news. Next up is talking about this Dengeki interview here. Now, first of all, I'd like to say that the full interview was kind of disappointing because half of it was talking to the CEO of Level 5 about their dumb games and Yokai Watch and stuff like that.
Oh, I love Yokai Watch.
Shut up.
I got Hover Nyan as my minion. He's just hovering around.
Yeah, cute.
Hover.
What is happening?
That's the sound he makes when he hovers.
I was hoping if we stared at him long enough, he'd explode. It didn't work. So apparently Yoshida and Hino, first of all, are pretty close friends, and they like have dinner together and go out to parties and stuff like that. I guess it explains why we got Yokai Watch in the game. But they talk about how whenever they basically get together outside of work, they still just talk about games and the interesting things that they've been implementing. Which I guess Yoshida
so that's a really quick talk
doesn't
then, right?
Usually have a whole lot to talk about. What was interesting to I think most people, and actually it makes sense seeing how they've utilized Diadem and Eureka and the way that they've been developing it, but it's also, I think, just seeing them put it into words is a little disappointing to me. And I go back to what Aniro's been saying for a while now, and that's that FF14 needs some type of PTR, public test realm, but they said, says Yoshida wants readers to interpret this in a positive way, that content like Diadem and Eureka is like an experimental chamber involving trial and error. Does that not kind of rub people sort of the wrong way?
No, not at all.
No, because that's what this stuff has to be, right? They've never done something like this before, and it has to involve trial and error. And the fact that they're not just saying we're just going to dump it there and leave it, like they,
okay, no, you're right. Obviously, the idea, like what they do with the Diadem, where you dump it and you just leave it, nothing happens to it. Yes, to me, that's like the biggest 100% most colossal failure you could have in an MMO. But I've also never been in an MMO or any type of online game where I feel like what they're giving us isn't finished. Sometimes there may be an event that I don't like, but I do always get the feeling that the content that has been dropped is a fully realized vision, and it's not just like we're mice in a maze trying to help them figure out what works and what doesn't work. I feel like most developers know what their visions are, and
or most MMOs have like a test server where people can test shit out, and for some reason we don't have that. Because I guarantee you that if we had been in a test server with that for 2 days, they would have seen the NM train bullshit, and that would have been that, and they would have.
That is 100% true right there.
Yeah.
Because I remember someone calling in once and pointing out that once something goes to PTR, it's not going to change much in its core development or the way that it's made going forward. You might get adjustments here and there. And
dude, if you just had levels 1 to 10 available for PTR in Eureka, you literally would have been able to see the NM train form by day number 5. You know what I mean?
God, it was like day 2 or 3, because when we first went in, like the very first time when the couple of us here went in and did Eureka, I got to level 5 just in that party killing random mobs, and that was fine. The next day I logged in and people had all of the NMs from 1 through 10 figured out, because nobody was higher than that yet the second day. But they had exactly where each NM spawned, exactly the timing, like when its respawn was, and there was already trackers and things when some of the NMs hadn't even been discovered yet. Like it was already figured out. So they would have realized how simple their formula was, and at least realized sooner that this probably wasn't the perfect system.
Yeah. Well, hold on. Has Yoshi ever said that he didn't anticipate the NM's train becoming a thing? No. Or that he doesn't like it?
No, we haven't gotten an official word on that.
So how do we know that this isn't actually Yoshi's vision for Eureka?
Come on.
Because of how many times those words have come out of his mouth, like we didn't imagine the entire game.
That is kind of a staple Yoshi
training onto one hunt. Yeah. I feel like that's.
But I feel like there's like one of two reactions you can have to that as a developer. You can either go, okay, I can have all the intention in the world, but I don't know what players are going to do with it, and
that's always fair, I think.
And I think that like we saw that kind of attitude a lot in FF11, where they're like, okay, here's what it is. Now let's see what the community does with it. And when the community did something different with a job like Ninja in FF11 and started using it as a tank, Square-Enix didn't overcorrect for that, right? Like they didn't be like, oh, well, now we got to take shadows away because
years later, when
this is not the intended purpose of the job.
Years later, they gave us more enmity tools.
Well, more than that, when asked about Ninja as a tank, they responded, and this is like again 4 or 5 years after Ninja, they're like, Ninja's not a tank. Well, what are you talking about?
I mean, but that's the thing is you can have all the intention in the world, but what the community does with that content is important, and I think we've seen a shift from Square-Enix between FF11 and FF14, where now when the community does something that's not intended, the reaction from Square-Enix is to dev that problem away.
Yeah, think about remember when someone found a better way to do Ninja's rotation for like a slightly increased DPS, and Square-Enix was like, nuh-uh, nerf that.
Yeah, they slapped that down real quick.
Real fast.
Before we even knew what the new rotation was.
Yep.
So, but do you see the difference in approaches here, though? And what is surprising, I think, to me, and I think that this may be indicative of Yosheep's leadership, is that, the way that I think an MMO developer needs to react to that is through input and testing. And I think that there is an incredible arrogance to go, well, we can internally test all of our content and we'll know exactly what the community is going to do with it.
Yep. See,
I think that's why things like Diadem didn't fundamentally work. The small content, the stuff that you can reasonably test internally.
4-man content, raid content.
Exactly. All of that does seem to work, right? Like all of it works as expected and as intended most of the time. But the 3 attempts that Square-Enix has made at a system that strikes at something larger, that looks like a traditional MMO system, Diadem was an objective failure. Eureka gets it a little bit closer, and I'm willing to give them it's a test environment. Sure,
I'd say Eureka's a success in what we've gotten, especially compared to previous stuff.
Let's put a caveat on there. It's a relative success.
That's fair. I'll give you that.
In comparison to Diadem, I mean, Diadem was empty. What, 2 weeks out?
It might have even been quicker than that. Honestly,
you're being kind of generous.
Yeah. 2 weeks out was when it was I think some new weapon came out and basically made it all irrelevant.
So, like that to me says that it was a step more in the right direction. But the fact that it was divisive at all and divided the community on whether it was good or not, I mean, shit, I've taken flack over liking Eureka. From whether it be from our YouTube section or our chat, whatever. I've gotten dragged for it. I don't really care because it's optional whether you do it or not. You could not do any Eureka and clearly you wouldn't suffer any consequence from it.
Hold on, let me get this straight. You don't like the game, people get after you. You actually like the game and people still get after you.
Yeah.
Are you a game developer?
No, I'm not.
You got a hard life, man.
I just say opinions on the internet, and God forbid anyone ever do that.
Well, when you first brought up the idea of a PTR, obviously the first thing that my mind goes to is looking how other games utilize PTR, right? Blizzard has a PTR for all their games, I'm aware, but that PTR is always up. There's always something on there being tested, and I kind of looked at it as, well, there's never enough coming out for Final Fantasy XIV to need to be tested, but, I mean, is the PTR even something that has to be a thing that's always there? They could literally bring out a test server when they have something like Diadem where they need more than just their internal testing to be able to test it. Yeah, and I think that would even be...
You can do 3 weeks worth of a test on
and you know
something.
what? That would be a huge hit because since it's technically a limited time thing, I think people would absolutely jump at the idea to be able to do something like that.
100%. I absolutely agree.
Yeah.
And the thing is that, again, I don't think that raid content needs to be included in there. I don't think story content needs to be included in there. I don't think dungeons need to be included in there because Square Enix has gotten to a point where they can pretty well
in their sleep.
Yeah, they can pretty well finely tune those.
Need to be there either.
Exactly.
Like they're past all that. Yeah.
Exactly. But the stuff that they're classifying, and clearly Yosheep is thinking of it the same way as trial and error content. And stuff that is bigger than can warrant internal testing, you've got to put that to a PTR.
Well, yeah, and kind of the way that I look at it, too, is you mentioned Diadem objective failures. Eureka does a lot of things right, but there's still some stuff that they probably didn't intend that, had they had a PTR, they would have saw that beforehand. And it's at the point now where I think a lot of people who have done Eureka, who've stepped into Eureka, whether they've only, progressed a few levels and decided, you know what, this whole NM train thing isn't for me, or they went right to level 20, got all their stuff, now they're like, all right, now I don't want to do it. Had they had a PTR and saw the NM train effect and decided we don't want that to happen, so let's figure out a way to fix it before it goes out to everyone, there's no way that everyone's going to try and jump on the PTR to have gotten that experience and then been like, oh, it's not for me, right? I wouldn't try out a PTR. I'd wait for it to come out and get the intended piece of content that they meant for us to play in the way that they meant for us to play it. And to go to an early comment you mentioned too, the biggest problem with having just that small internal testing is because these developers know how this system is supposed to function. Would they have ever even thought to be like, oh, let's go just like make a NM train around killing the NMs one by one, because that's not the way that it was intended, right?
Right. Yeah. Well, and I think and again, to kind of that point, I think what a public test run would do is allow you to make those difficult decisions, like nerfing the XP from NMs and effectively killing the NM train without having to face a huge backlash from your general audience. If you fix it while it's still on PTR, I mean, yeah, there's probably going to be some bitching, but there's not going to be
people that are like, oh, I liked the test version better.
Right.
But I mean, in the end, more people are going to get what they intended, and I think it's going to be better in the long run.
As someone
totally agree.
As someone who follows what goes on the Blizzard PTR but doesn't actually play it, the worst that you're going to have is, people release whatever the new PTR notes are, and some people might be like, oh, I hate that. Some people might not care, but as long as it doesn't come out, that's where it ends up stopping. So if you had a PTR and there's an NM train, some people might be like, oh yeah, that sucks. I wouldn't want to play that. That seems like a horrible design. But when it actually comes out, if it's not in there, that's it. It's gone now. It's history.
I think a PTR was harder to justify for Square Enix when the bulk of what they were putting out was dungeon and raid content.
Yeah, I think like you said, you didn't need it. Was attempted. I think that the PTR would have been a great implementation.
Yeah, I agree. We want to hear from you. Give us a call. Limit Break Radio on Skype, 810-515-8715, limitbreakradio.com/Discord. We are going to be moving on to Stump the Staff trivia here in a few minutes. You can go ahead and line your calls up for that if you want, but we want to hear from you on Eureka and whether you think that Square Enix should implement a public test realm. Give us a call. Limit Break Radio on Skype, 810-515-8715, limitbreakradio.com/Discord.
Well, it's not necessarily too late for them to potentially come out with some type of test server for people to try things out, because they also said that they are trying new things with the Forbidden Land of Eureka, and even outside of Eureka, they have other plans for, quote, trial and error type of new content that is already under development, which they still cannot talk about, but they will be announcing it somewhere in the future. So,
see, now that actually encourages me, because
I hope so.
I liked out of everything that Eureka presented us with, I liked the adventurousness that Square Enix kind of took to get away from their normal pattern of content development, right? Like, that's what I appreciated about Eureka. Like, at least they were trying to put some sort of an alternate gameplay into FF14, and I appreciate the effort that was put there. Whether or not that succeeded, that's up to you, but I at least appreciated the effort, and to know that they're going to be trying that, continuing to have that kind of trial and error or adventurous spirit moving forward with not just Eureka but with other portions of the game, I actually think that that's fairly encouraging.
Yes, and
this quote is what encourages me. The next little bullet here says that he thinks that the fans will say, "What, you were hiding content like this the whole time?"
Yeah. Also, it says
if I actually can say that, I will be in awe and I will bow down.
Yeah.
We'll have to see if that is actually something that comes out of my mouth.
All right,
it would be shocking.
Can we give them the full thing, Negan, not just a part of it?
Let's read the whole
Those
bullet.
future plans include a powered-up version of current content and also brand new content where players, yes, will say, "What, you were hiding something like this the whole time?" And Nero, I have to both agree and sort of disagree. Obviously, yes, we want them to be more adventurous and try new things with all different parts of the game, so it doesn't feel like they're creating an MMO within an MMO. But even if they do that going forward, I don't think that's suddenly going to save Final Fantasy XIV. It'll bring some more interesting aspects to it. But then what I see being the biggest problem, and again, this is something they could solve with even just a temporary test server, is if every event comes out and players have to spend 2 or 3 weeks in it before the developers go, "Oh, okay, we didn't anticipate that, so we have to fix it. We didn't anticipate that, so we have to fix it, and let's alter this." What that ends up doing is you have a lot of people like Senpai who went into it to start with, didn't like it, and decided, if this is what it is, I'm done. Now, some people, as it evolves and people realize what's going on and as it changes, some will come back, but some people, after that initial reaction, are not even going to bother coming back, even when it is changed or hotfixed to the way that it should be. And I think that in the long run, that hurts them. Maybe not as much as their stagnant development now, but it's still something that worries me.
But that's the only alternative, is to just keep continuing making dungeons and raids until the end of time.
No, the alternative would be, like we said, to come up with that test thing so that what you're putting out is what you want to put out, not something that the community may end up bastardizing or homogenizing into some way that takes all the fun out of it.
Okay, I mean, but at the same time, though, you know, someone who's going to be turned off by a one piece of content that takes the game in a piece of direction and then they quit over it, like that, there's almost no way to win that battle. Like,
that's probably true too. Yeah,
you know, like why even try to appease those people? But I do think, you know, again, as we identified earlier, that a public test server, a public test realm would really help iron out a lot of those unintended consequences of a system being put in. I think it's really dangerous to go, okay, let's put out a untested system and see what the player base does with it and be reactionary as opposed to proactive. That I think that's the difference between those two approaches. Having a PTR is proactive. You're actively testing your content before you put it out. Not having a PTR means that you have to be reactive, and being reactive it has a lot more potential for backlash and for things to go wrong.
Absolutely, because when people go to a PTR, they know what they're testing it, and that everything here isn't necessarily going to go live. But I think once, and that's on such a small level too, right? But once things go live, I don't think that it is unreasonable for players to expect that, okay, we're getting what should be at least close to the best version of this content.
I mean, once it's actually out, that should be the expectation. But I don't know. I mean, you know, I think that Square-Enix is doing themselves a disservice by not continuing to include a PTR. It's just in general a bad idea. It's a bad way to develop long-term content, and especially, you know, everyone has been dragging Square-Enix because of how long Eureka took to come out and all of that. You know, if you're actively testing it and people are able to track the development of it, they're going to be less pissed when it takes, you know, 2 updates longer than you said it initially would, because those people testing it will be like, yeah, it needs that.
Yeah, you know, thinking back to how long it took to develop too. I mean, I don't know how big their internal testing team is, but you have to think that there's no way that they probably ever tested it with a full, what would be a full instance.
144?
44 something people. Yeah. There's no way that they ever tested it to that level.
No way.
No. So the only other thing that I wanted to read from
they just put the NMs into God mode. Or they put themselves into God mode and took down the NMs. That's it.
Yeah,
all they did was scale their levels, and it's pretty clear to tell from the way that the NMs operate that that's what they did.
That's disappointing.
It is really disappointing.
Yeah,
because you know, I think they're really onto a few concepts with Eureka. They're basic MMO concepts, but they're onto a few concepts. I mean, maybe that's part of what irks me so much about this, is that it's like you're having to take someone who's been making an MMO for the better part of 6 years and take them back to the basics and go, this is what is basically appealing about MMOs.
Their breakthroughs are stuff that people figured out, 10, 15 years ago, basically?
Yes, yeah.
And it's the whole company, too. Hey, look, we just got a shopping cart feature on our cash shop.
I mean, I think you can see it in other games. I think you can see it in a lot of their, you know, development style. Once they took the Final Fantasy series away from being turn-based, there were no other turn-based games out of Square-Enix. What the fuck was that?
Windows Update.
It's not on this computer.
I'm gonna hurt you.
It might be on the Nika computer.
Nika, we're gonna hurt you.
Don't update me. Leave me.
Anyway, so I mean, I think that they would have gotten a better system to the public if they had at least a full instance worth of people to be able to test how the system functioned over a long period of time. You can't just give people 24 hours with it. Can't give them 48 hours with it. It's almost like they learned nothing from the 1.0 debacle.
Ooh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know, they did put that out for alpha and beta testing and then listened to absolutely none of the feedback that they were getting. There were alpha and beta.
You're right.
There were alpha and beta testers that were adamant about, do not put this game out. It is not ready to be put out yet. And they still put it out.
But the pods looked really good. Maximum polygons.
They did. But the thing is that, you know, like, I think that's the other part. That's sort of the other half of this equation. If you do a PTR, you have to meaningfully take the feedback and criticism into account when assessing the system's overall efficacy. Right?
It seems like common sense to us.
And the thing is that, you know, I don't think you even have to look at a single shitty comment. All you have to do is look at player behavior. What are people doing with the content to be able to complete it? Does that live up to your vision? What do you have to do to make it? I think those are all valid questions.
Yeah,
those are all
pretty clear too.
This is all very basic game developer shit.
Mm-hmm. One other comment here, actually speaking to the idea of basic developer and gameplay stuff. They do say that the next Eureka, whatever area it will be, will have new gameplay elements, which is something that we've heard them say before. They get a little bit more specific though, and say that it will be such like orders to hunt specific monsters and different methods to improve the basic gameplay leveling process. And they said that if they had these features from the get-go, that it would have just turned into the usual FF14. So they will continue to look for the perfect borderline. I'm not really sure what they mean by it would have turned into the usual FF14 if people had to hunt specific monsters.
I think hunts. But the thing is that these mobs operate so much like hunts anyway.
Well, I think it depends. If the idea is that you were going to put like actual hunts in there where everyone walks up to a board and gets the same specific monster, then yeah, you're absolutely right. It 100% would have. But if you randomize it a little bit and different people need different monsters, then you're starting to group up based on the priorities and the objectives that you have to meet, and I think that that's a little bit more interesting than what hunts were. But I mean, I also get, you know, they're trying to ease people into this, so the idea that they're holding some of their ideas back for the next area, I'm fine with that as well.
I mean, I don't know how fine I am with that, to be honest with you.
I don't think they were necessarily holding it. Well, maybe, because I think they were trying to see how it worked and then build on it, which is what they should be doing, which is why I'm still waiting for Pals of the Dark.
But I mean, they could have done some things very dynamically in there that they just chose not to. For example, the Pazuzu feathers, needing that for your final weapon upgrade.
Well, you could have needed that throughout the whole thing. No. Different items.
Or different jobs require different items.
There you go. That too.
They made it like there's a final boss. He's like the final boss of this one, and with him being one of the Mystic Quest 4 fiends, it's clear that each section's going to have a final boss.
Right, but you could still
but the thing
do
is,
that.
Right, they could have done something similar, except there's like a final tier of 3 or 4 bosses, each having an item. So
yeah, I mean,
instead
it's kind of because I've done Pazuzu so much now that I already have 3 weapons and I have 12 more feathers just sitting there. Like it's really silly and easy at that point.
Right. And I think that, I think they did a lot of that to streamline it or make it easy for people to understand. But I think it would have been more fun if it was dynamic.
But this is the thing too, like it's the first step. It's not the best weapon. You can buy a better one with tomes right now. So as long as building on it in the second step, if it gets more complicated, I am okay with the first step being that.
Yeah, okay. I think I'm going to lean a little bit towards Nika now, just based on that. Had they made it more complicated and dynamic, and it's still not the best weapon so far, may have dissuaded people a little bit more. However, that means
there is definitely going to be a final boss. I'm just worried about how they're going to change it up going forward.
Well, exactly. Going forward, I think that at this point, after this first stage of Eureka, that they can start to really step up the complexity and the difficulty of it. And if they continue to have it even just somewhat streamlined, like in the next one, okay, you still have to get some Pazuzu-like feathers thing, and then one other one for armor. No, that's not going to be enough for me.
I'd really like the next area to feel like, Pazuzu is like, would be like one step weaker than just the regular mobs that are hanging out in the zone, right?
Pazuzu, you ungrateful gargoyle!
Oh man, I didn't get that drop. I'm such a fucking failure. Oh well. But yeah, no, I think that there's definitely ways that they can keep making a compelling system moving forward.
I agree.
I'm almost done with it. You know, for the people who bitch incessantly about it like it's the worst thing that's ever happened to this game, that shit I do not understand. I wish someone would call us up and say that, you know, Eureka is just the worst shit that's ever been added to the game, because I'd really love to be able to pick their brain on why they think that. Because to me, you know, if you never did Eureka, it doesn't really change anything. You could continue queuing for dungeons and raids every day if you wanted to. It doesn't really affect anything, and maybe that's the complaint. That I understand. If that's the complaint, that I actually kind of understand.
That's kind of where I'm teetering right now. I still like what they're doing with Eureka, but I'm still kind of lagging behind. I'm into level 9, so I'm about halfway through, you know, where I should be. But I still can't help but think, like, whenever I'm about to log on or whenever I'm playing, is when the next one comes out, are they going to offer me a faster way? I think that's probably what I'm waiting for, is if
the easy mode,
right away,
because
like
they've trained me to expect an easy mode after it.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong.
But it's not. I don't think it needs an easy mode.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. And in fact, I hope that I get punished. I hope at the end of it, when the next one comes out, there is no easy mode, and now I just have to fucking catch up.
Now that no one's doing it, you're screwed.
Yeah.
I think that would be kind of cool. But, you know, at the same time, doing it very, very casually. I'm already at level 18. I've got most of my gear out of it. You know, like it's very easy to get the first round of stuff for how worried people were about it. It's very easy to get that first round of gear.
This is not indicative of a relic quest, because people have all 15 jobs of their relic weapons done.
Well, and you just do that by spending time in there. And
it's really easy. Like I haven't done it much recently at all, but I have 2 full sets of armor and weapon for Samurai and Paladin, and I have the Scholar weapon. And I have 12 Pazuzu feathers just sitting there and a bunch of other crystals. I just haven't decided what I want to do with it.
Yeah, the Tiger Fury, a friend of the show, by the way, puts in that if for no other reason, they finally gave us a way to effectively gear other jobs.
That's true.
Nika's even complained about being in raids before that, you know, by the time you get one job geared out, or maybe 2 jobs, like, people are kind of starting to lose interest at that point.
Well, and it's more like it's hard to gear other jobs that you like. Like, I play Paladin and Samurai. I'm currently playing Samurai in the raid, so all my tomes are still going towards Samurai. There's still a few pieces. Like, until Eureka, I wasn't capping my tomes, and now I am. So, you know, I'm still buying tome stuff for Samurai, and I'm not getting any gear for Paladin. So
right.
It's kind of nice that I'm able to keep up with that, even if it's slightly behind. It's still faster than tome.
Yeah. Someone in the chat, Yoko Sune, says, my question is, why make an entire another area for fate farming? What's the point of just literally fate farming for relic gear? And the idea is, or at least the hope is, that the next area gets a little bit more complicated than that, right? Again, this first area we think was supposed to be streamlined and easy, and there's enough different about it, but there's also enough that's the same about it, that people who do just like the easy, casual sort of stuff that FF14s have been doing can still get into it. And in the next area, you start to make things a little more complicated. If like Aniro said, normal mobs are like the Pazuzus of those areas, you're going to get to a point where you can't necessarily just go in and zerg a boss down with a bunch of people, and maybe you have to go at it with smaller groups so that you can actually pay attention to what the actual mechanics of it are. That's what I'd like to see, is mechanics that are more advanced than what we've been seeing in Fates.
Well, and I've been harping on this for a long time too, but more complex spawn mechanics.
Yes.
There are things that you can do that people, you know, that people can do in the world to affect the world, to affect how a mob or the spawn conditions.
More things that could be
exactly. It doesn't just have to be weather. Right. It doesn't just have to be weather or a lottery pop. You know what I mean? Like that.
One of the NPCs mentions how like a great dragon prefers like a certain kind of meat. So then if you actually take a mob that has that to the spawn area under certain weather conditions and kill it, the mob spawns.
That's interesting.
Or there's like three question marks in the world that you have to light in a certain order to spawn the mob.
Tiger Fury also says Eureka has fostered teamwork and cooperation on a larger scale than anything else in the game.
At any point.
That's true.
Well, since maybe Titan.
I also talk to people way more in Eureka than I do in anything else.
Yeah, and we've all mentioned before that, like, definitely the two great things out of this are the sense of danger in the world and the sense of social interaction.
I was playing when I was talking to Cheshire Duck from our chat one of the first days, and when I first got into a party, and we were like just killing stuff for like 10 or 15 XP, and I'm like, I'm saying this out loud, like, we really need to move to a different area so we can get more XP, but I don't know how to like get them to do that. And she's like, talk to them. Oh yeah. Oh, that's the thing I can do.
Wait. Oh yeah, they didn't take away our typing privileges in this game mode
yet.
Okay.
I mean, Venico in the chat saying you guys want Monster Hunter. Well, but Monster Hunter actually utilizes a lot more old school MMO.
Did Monster Hunter is it not Capcom's fastest selling game in forever?
But it utilizes some very solid old school MMO mechanics to be able to function. And I mean, Monster Hunter games have been doing that for a long friggin' time too. You know what I mean? Like, no, I don't necessarily want it to be Monster Hunter exactly, but there's a lot of really clever tricks that you can take from other games and other concepts that you can work in from other games that would work here. There's no reason that it wouldn't.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever been as excited for content. Now that we've seen Eureka and we know what they could potentially do in the next area, because we know now they're capable of doing something right. I think I'm actually legitimately excited. Not just excited to see what they do.
Now, see, here's I think
hopeful. It was hard.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Okay, I think the real measure on Square Enix's creativity is not their first foray into the system. It's the second one. How much do they deviate from that pattern that they've established that works? This is where Square Enix, time and time again, especially for Final Fantasy XIV, has really struggled and come up short. Is their continued support, the way that they continue to evolve a thing like Eureka has been bad.
Yes,
because they don't do that. They did Diadem, and then they blew down the original Diadem and gave you Diadem 2.0, which was
a shitfest,
which was supposed to fix it and did worse. And now we've got Eureka. People kind of like Eureka, but more so than Diadem. Let's put it that way. It was received better than Diadem was, and now you've got to expand on that system. What are they going to do? If their next step with their next Eureka zone is almost identical to what we have with the first Eureka zone,
the Palace of the Dead,
that spells trouble to me.
Yeah,
that spells trouble to me. If they go and they try to really, maybe some of the things that we're talking about, maybe some other things that we haven't even thought about or even considered, but it ends up feeling like Eureka, but clearly they've put some effort into trying to make it, its own thing. I think that's a step in the right direction. But I don't think that we can fully judge the content until we see where they take the next phase.
Oh yeah, Eureka is definitely like a multi-pronged
for sure.
piece of content.
For sure. I mean, we can start by saying this initial offering was decent. It was okay.
Acceptable.
It was acceptable. Good word.
Thank you. But I have lots of them.
You have the best.
Words.
Do you have the best words?
The best words.
All the best words?
They're the best ones.
Okay.
Excellent.
I think the real measure, the real litmus test is going to be where they end up taking future development of it.
Because the next iteration can't be acceptable again.
Right.
It has to be more acceptable.
It's got to feel like it's building on something.
Oh,
that's a good word.
I know
something.
I know we say this every single time, right? But because this was acceptable, and I think a lot of us have gotten to the point where all right, we're going to give you another shot now. This next phase of Eureka is really kind of the do or the die. They've kind of been hanging us along this whole time, and now it's at the point where it's like, all right, you've given us acceptable content before in Palace of the Dead, and you've added to it, but you still haven't evolved any of your content. And if they can't do that this time, which from what they're saying, they are, and if they still don't, then it's not something that's in this development team's repertoire.
Last call for calls on Eureka. Limit Break Radio on Skype, 810-515-8715, limitbreakradio.com/Discord. Speak now or forever hold your peace.
Your penis.
Coming up next, we're going to be playing Stump the Hosts for some pretty damn cool prizes. So get your calls in. Again, Limit Break Radio on Skype, 810-515-8715, limitbreakradio.com/Discord. I really do hope that Square-Enix at least shows enough presence of mind to either A, start a PTR, or B, that the next step in Eureka is a step forward and not just a carbon copy,
a step to the side
of what we've already had. Yeah. Not just the next 10 levels, the next 10 elemental levels. You know what I mean? Like, just changing the window dressing is not going to be enough for this next phase of Eureka. Just taking us to a new zone where we're doing the same Eureka shit just in a new place is not going to be good enough to cut it.
Also, Square-Enix, too, just a little aside, this probably isn't as important as the actual mechanical stuff and the gameplay aspects.
But we do want male bunny girl suits, so make sure that's
happening.
Stop.
Shut up.
No, I'm saying we want that to happen.
It's happening. After 3 years, it's happening.
It's finally happening.
I hope it gets delayed.
Yeah, me too.
You know what? I hope that it comes out and everyone's is perfect, but there's something with the cat boy one to where it clips.
Excuse me, male cat girl.
Male cat girl, where it clips in some way and looks super ugly, and Juxta won't use it because of that.
Well, I wouldn't use it because of that. I don't know why I wouldn't use it, but I definitely wouldn't because of some silly clipping issue.
Oh, okay. Anyway, what I wanted to say was that the gear and the weapons and whatever they are in the next iteration, they better not be something you've already fucking seen again. Even if you put just additional trimming on them or whatever.
Glows.
Fine.
We want glows.
Ugh, glows are ugly.
Nothing but glows.
Yeah, but I don't know. I actually really genuinely like the gear.
And the glows.
Not the glows.
No. This gear was good, and actually, in a certain extent, the way that we take something that we previously thought was useless and we're sort of building it back up, yeah, that's cool.
Question for you guys.
Do you think for you guys?
Well, because I mean, we've seen with relic weapons in the past that they get a model upgrade at some step in the process.
Right.
Do you think that's ever going to happen for the armor?
Gear, the armor?
Oh, see, that's what I'm saying.
It better.
Even if you don't completely change it, if they start to add more decorations,
Trimmings.
more spikes for the Dark Knight,
shiny
more
baubles.
whatever.
What else? Like, they have to. How else would you even realize it was different gear? Like, we already got it dyeable, and as we've seen from previous relic iterations, you can rebuy previous versions for the glamour, and they're just called replica, blah blah blah. So if you want the original AF dyed, you can just rebuy the old version as you upgrade it and go along.
That would mean Square Enix has to design not one set of JSE, but 2 sets, or possibly even 3 sets of JSE.
I don't think so, because what's going to happen probably is we got the dyeable version of the original JSE. The next step, it's going to glow. The next step will be a new model, and the final step, it's going to glow. So really, they only have to redesign one more.
Or they could start giving us secondary dye colors.
I did hear
That's never gonna happen.
I remember we talked to him about that once at like FanFest. Remember?
Yeah, and he said like in expansion 5 or 6.
I did hear someone say that they would like the JSE armor to eventually upgrade to what the FF11 JSE armor looked like.
Except that's so scaled down and less pixels and what?
I agree.
Why would we ever want that? That would just look bad.
Plus, I'm sorry, but Thief armor back in FF11 was terrible.
I mean, if they modeled it a little differently, we got the Scorpion harness, and that looks similar enough, but it still looks like it fits in 14. Like, they could take the designs and make it fit. Like,
well, yeah, clearly they're going to do that.
They're not going to take the 11 model, Nico. Why would you even suggest that?
It would look like diarrhea.
But I think they would need to dress it. But I feel like they would need to dress it up more. Like, it couldn't be an exact to just like update the graphics.
It would look fine.
I don't know.
Look at the Scorpion harness, Nika.
Yeah, no, they would remodel it, retexture it. It would be fine.
Too,
but I do agree though that the JSE that we have now looks cooler than arguably even updated of versions of the 11.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. I don't want to like downscale. Especially because there's so many
like
jobs
a step down.
It would, yeah, it would definitely feel like a step down. That's fair.
And what about things like Machinist or Astrologian, which doesn't have an equivalent?
Yeah,
they just get deleted.
Normally, I would never do this, but hashtag praise and Yarrow for that comment.
Fuck you.
Hang on.
You could just give me credit for that, Frumpy Raccoon.
Is there anyone that, if that was the case, that wouldn't do it? Like, dude, all of us would do it. All of us would upgrade. Like, all of us would be so. The way that all of the FF11, references were like received by just us on this show, we would fucking love it. Like, it would be like, yeah, it kind of looks shitty, but at the same time, like, oh, what a cool callback.
That's my game.
Like, yeah, like exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's what I like about what's in Eureka right now is we have some of the same bosses. We have the Scorpion Harness. It's like a little nod. We don't need every single character to all of a sudden look like we're playing FF11. Like, we don't.
Yeah, we do that. Yeah, we do. I think we need that.
But something that Nika was mentioning earlier, and the reason that we do need them to change besides just dying is if this process of making the relics gets more and more complicated as we goes on, it gets harder and harder and harder, so that it does finally actually feel like an achievement at the end, you want people to be able to look at you and know he's wearing the final step of the Eureka relic gear.
Literally every piece of that man's armor is glowing.
No.
I can't see it because of the particle effect. Square-Enix help.
No, that's what it's going to be, though. They're going to design one more set, like the next update, and we're going to get the current JSE dyed and glowing. And then we'll get a new set of JSE, and then the final set will be glowing.
See,
praise Tanaka.
There's actually also still a part of me, though, that kind of also doesn't want them to do that, because as the ninja gear is right now, looks super cool, right? The last relic from last expansion, the final stage, was terrible looking.
Your daggers?
The daggers. They were so bad.
Okay, well, look on the bright side. You're not going to get your Thief JSE from 11. You're going to get your ninja stuff.
I feel like all ninja JSE and all ninja artifact stuff looks the same.
It sure does. So, have fun with that.
In fact, I'm pretty sure I've already had the JSE gear from freaking Final Fantasy 11.
You sure did. Yeah. Maybe I'll give you the Koga stuff instead.
You know what? I'd also take Scotty's gear. That'd look pretty cool.
Yeah,
no, you don't get that.
That's a good question, actually. What's FF11 gear that you would want to see brought back to FF14?
We have seen the Eris set and the a couple other sets. What I'm a little bit disappointed about is that they didn't take advantage of Byakko and the primals to add like Byakko's Haidate and Kirin's Asode.
Why would you want Byakko's Haidate? That thing was fucking hideous.
Well, okay,
Skater
you don't think that, okay, I'm talking about
God.
Like 14's version. Again, I'm not saying just use the same models. I'm saying use them and change them so that it looks good.
They would be updated versions.
Yeah, they would be updated hideous.
But it would still be a throwback to that in a way that people would have loved that, and I'm a little bit bummed about that.
Faith Bringer in the chat wants for Minion Cloak. Nobody wants that.
Skuro said something at least halfway decent.
Not the helmet. The helmet was horrible.
The helmet, yeah. The helmet looked like you were going to war for the Germans in World War I. No, but I liked Homam. And what was the black version that was out of Assaults?
Oh,
whatever that was.
That was so good.
I liked
Assaults or Salvage?
Was it? No, Salvage was Scotty's. Or not Scotty's.
Salvage had the Eris set.
Yeah, the Eris
Maybe
set.
it was Nizul Isle that it came out of.
That's what it was. Nizul.
I forget what it was called, but man,
yeah, me too.
Good.
Yeah, I like that. I like that gear set a lot. I don't know. There's actually a lot of gear from FF11 that I'd love to see get brought back,
even just from a design perspective.
And the thing is like, if they wanted to be able to put in that kind of referential gear, where else would they put it? What else would they attach it to? It makes sense with Eureka because there's other stuff that's kind of referencing FF11 in there. Even though I do agree that upgrading to a armor that looks objectively worse kind of sucks, but
But that's why they could
it'd be kind of funny though.
Yeah. They could take the core design of I'm looking of the Red Mage AF1. Like, it was very simple, but it was a little bit more
the best
traditional Red Mage than what we got in this game. So they could take that, embellish it a little more, add some more gold trim or whatever, but still be able to tell that it's that, but with the 14 flare on.
Yeah.
And then you look at Warrior AF, and it just looks completely awful.
Optical hat, yes. I want the optical hat, man.
hat.
Oh, hat all all the way.
That thing was so ugly, though. Like,
It's hideous. It's fucking hideous. 90% of what was in that game was hideous.
No, see, what a Nero needs is the O hat, but it has the Odin faceplate on it.
That would be the best ever. Oh my god!
It's still the O hat.
I wanted the Aces helm too. Like how ugly that was.
Fucking,
it was so good,
fucking RoboCop helm. Yes, I love that. Love that thing. Oh man! All right.
No, but I would like the Hubbardgian in all honesty.
Yeah.
Like we got the Scorpion harness.
Yeah.
Hubbardgian's got to be next.
Fuck you.
Yeah,
what?
but I want the whole gear set though. Like I wouldn't just want the body. I'd want the hands and the legs.
No one ever used that shit.
I did.
Assault Jerkin for Dragoon. Isn't that like
that's the orange and black one?
It's
I think
like the checkerboard one.
Nika,
isn't that kind of already in the game?
Put your hat on, Callow, and own your shame.
Nika needs the Neptunal legs. Or feet.
Okay, it was the feet, and I got them well before I quit, so that joke is no longer relevant.
Have you gotten your Strider's boots from Eureka?
I have 3 pairs of Striders.
Oh, really?
I have 3 Scorpion harnesses.
I haven't
2 Emperor's hairpins.
I'm level 18 and I still haven't gotten any of the FF11 throwback here.
I've only
I'm
got
so disappointed.
I got the hairpin from the one Emperor I've held.
Oh, did you?
Oh, that sucks. What I do wish is that I feel really bad. Like I can't throw out a Scorpion harness. I can't do it. What they should let you trade these in for crystals.
Oh, not those ones. Not those ones.
No, not those ones.
No, you can trade the like glamour from the lock boxes.
I was gonna say you could have given me one of those Scorpion harnesses.
And I would. I totally would. Like I would give one to Sir and I'd give one to you. And I just
100K.
wish but I feel like that's shit like that, and also the other stuff. It's selling for 1 gil. If I could trade in that cowboy set for just a few protean crystals here and there, that would be so much more worth it.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Because then it's like getting protean crystals out of a lockbox, even if it's not very many. And same thing with the Scorpion harness. Like those are rarer drops. Give me a couple hundred protean crystals.
I agree with that. Yeah, that would be that actually would make a lot of sense.
I just can't drop
Nika,
it. I can't bring myself to do it.
You're such a casual. You want an even easier path.
Such a casual. How many relics do you have?
You're just trying to get an easier path to getting more relics.
You didn't answer my question. How many relics do you have?
That's disappointing, Nika.
All right. We are in the last 45 minutes-ish of the show. And we told you at the beginning of the show that we were going to be playing Stump the Staff.
Ooh.
So
we're staff now, not hosts.
Yeah.
We've been downgraded.
I mean, we're still hosts. We're also the staff of Limit Break Radio.
Yeah.
And Stump the Staff is alliteration.
Hosts and staff are literally the same thing. We don't have very many positions that don't include host here.
Oh, we do. We have an intern and a producer, and we have the
what?
And the highest tier level on Patreon they count to, right?
Technically, they do. So I think that if we don't know the answer to something, we should be able to ask someone else on staff, like Kooky or Skuro.
Okay, but
you think
not going to have help.
Yeah.
Apparently, he played FF11. Whatever. Okay.
We should be able to phone a friend and call Escalia.
Actually, you know what?
He's not going to be any help either,
He's probably at work, though.
What? He replayed all of 11 from the ground up. He probably remembers.
Well, it doesn't matter because 11 questions aren't what we're taking today. So this is the way that it's going to do. So viewers, you can call in and you get to choose to present to us one of 2 types of questions. It can be a Final Fantasy XIV related question or a Limit Break Radio related question. Now, if there is some type of dispute between us and you over the answer,
You're always right.
You must be able to provide some type of proof. Now, if it is a Final Fantasy XIV question, it must be from in-game. It can't be from like the lore book or something that was said in a panel someplace. It has to be something
on forums.
Or on forums. It has to be provable from within the game. And if it is a LBR related question, you're gonna have, again, if there's a dispute here, you're gonna have to be able to point to the episode and the time so that way it can be verified. All right. Now
that's only if we dispute them.
That's only
it's not like if you call and you have to have that ready. All right. So if you guys correctly stump us, you will be eligible for a prize. Now we get to decide basically the tier of your prize. If it was sort of a shitty question or it wasn't really the best,
you got us on a technicality or like
right. You get what we're calling the low tier prize, which means you will get to choose something from the cash shop up to $7. We said right.
Yeah, like $7. Like
because you can get an emote,
a minion or an emote.
That's right. Now, if we decide that was a really good question and like you really fucking got us, you get the high tier, in which case you get to choose from one of several pieces of loot from our personal collection.
That's right. So we're going to talk about what the prizes we have available are, but again, we've only got a few people that are in line here to stump the staff. So I want to remind you, Limit Break Radio on Skype, 810-515-8715, limitbreakradio.com/Discord. We've got a lot of cool stuff that we're going to be giving away.
I actually want quite a bit of it.
So
you have a question.
One of the prizes that we have here, this is from my own private collection.
It's just privates.
We were actually going to originally give this away back in the 11 days, but never did.
That's right. It's been sitting around for quite a while. It's the title talisman from FF11. Still with the item code. I'm fairly sure that the redemption for that doesn't work. But,
you can wear it in real life, so it's cool.
Yeah, the actual physical title talisman would
that's
be
a high tier prize.
Yes, that is a high. Yeah, these are all the high tier prizes. Also, we do have one fat chocobo plushie left, which is in Kookie's possession.
Kookie
so that
custody.
Is also Kookie. There you go. It's in Kookie's custody. So that's another one that you could potentially choose from.
Yeah, we've got a couple of CDs here. We've got the
What's a CD?
Final Fantasy XI piano collection. This is again from my private collection, which means that I've rubbed my privates on it. So if you want that, you can.
Is it open?
No, it is open. I've actually listened to this. And then we have an unopened copy of A New World Intimate Music from Final Fantasy. This is
I'm going to that. I'm so excited.
This is actually the small kind of chamber music version of Distant Worlds. It is still conducted by Arnie Roth, but there are 18 tracks on here.
Did Eric Roth help direct that one?
Don't know, but there's music on here, including the Red Wings theme, Xanarkand, One Winged Angel, Fight with Seymour, and a ton more. Final Fantasy XI's Gustaberg is included on here. It's very good.
Trash.
Very good version of Gustaberg.
Throw it away.
So those are the two CDs that we have available for you.
What's a CD?
Shut up. We also have a Heaven's Word banner. This actually hung in the Limit Break Radio studio for quite a bit.
The last good expansion.
That's right. So we've got that available. We've got an FF11 Atlas. Which is hilarious, by the way.
Actually, the only thing it was ever good for was the Yatunga Jungle because it had arrows about where the tunnels would go. It was actually good for that only.
It's a good conversation starter.
Got a program from Distant Worlds, and then we've got the big bag signed.
I want that big bag
by one Yosheep.
Signed by Yosheep, guys. That's when Kookie and Escalia saw him at E3 standing there with no one around him and walked up and said, "Hi, can you sign this?" and started a line.
Yeah.
Way to go, Kookie.
So those are the prizes that we have available. From what I'm told from our phone screener, we've only got 3 people hanging on the line.
Ooh, wow, easy pickings here.
So it seems like the odds are in your favor. So once again, Limit Break Radio on Skype, 810-515-8715, limitbreakradio.com/Discord. Make sure that these 3 people don't automatically walk away with these cool fucking prizes.
Well, actually, that doesn't influence the odds at all because it doesn't matter how many people like ask a question. You have to still ask the question.
Yeah, but I have a feeling that there are people listening right now that are like, oh, well, they're not even going to get to my question.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, then we'll definitely get to your question.
And if there's only 3 people, the show gets done early. I guess we get to get out of here early.
Can there be repeats? Repeat callers?
Ooh, no.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Well, definitely not if they won, but if we don't have any more callers, we can decide.
No, because I think you should keep calling in until they win.
Yeah.
But if there's no other callers,
you only get one. Hey, if that's
like
all
we get out early and we have prizes for next time.
If that's all we get, I just get to rub my balls on more FF14
doing
stuff.
That
without me.
As long as it's in my possession, my balls are going to be rubbed on it.
That's so weird.
Not really.
If you don't have balls, what would you know, Nika?
Yeah, if you had balls, you'd understand.
You'd want to rub them all over everything.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I really don't.
Well, that's your problem, not mine.
Yeah, it's not
That's your own
You're
hang-ups.
dumb.
Yeah, can't help that.
Ask Senpai. See if he rubs his balls and everything.
Yeah, I'm sure he doesn't.
Ask him.
I will.
Like right now.
No, he's in the other room doing laundry and stuff, so I can't.
Wait, why are you making Senpai do laundry?
Why is he doing the laundry? You're the girl.
Yeah, that's
He's
the
doing
woman's
his
job.
own laundry. We do our own laundry in this house.
That's weird.
What? You don't do Senpai's laundry?
Do you not love him?
I don't even do my own laundry.
Oh my god! You just said you do your own laundry.
I do my own laundry, but like once every couple months.
Oh my gosh!
Nika is the stinky kid in class.
No, I just have that many clothes.
In her class, like the students know she's the stinky one.
They're giving all their investment away, so they are canceling the show next week.
Failing podcast? Can you just not tell away all of our deepest, darkest
seriously,
secrets?
I love the idea. I love the idea that this is the extent of everything in the LBR vault.
Well, and half of it's FF11 stuff. That's our investment.
That's our investment.
Like 10 years ago or whatever, we were like, we really need to buy this title talisman because it's going to come in handy later. It's a really good investment.
Yeah, we're going to be able to sell this for Bitcoin. Jesus.
Oh,
all right, let's go to our phone lines and take our first caller, Satori Komeji. What's going on, Satori?
Hey, how's it going?
Not bad, not bad.
What, you think you can stump us?
Yeah, I had my first question I thought was really good, but then Cookie's like, is this going to be related to Pazuzu? And I'm like,
He was going to ask if Pazuzu was up.
He was the one that called last time and we booed him off for his bad joke.
I know.
Donation for Nika's class.
But it's
fun.
Oh my god.
You're going to need a lot more than just 100 bits.
Yeah, seriously.
Like I said, I have that many clothes. I'm not wearing dirty clothes.
Satori, I would like to I would like to commend you for calling back even after you cowardly hung up the last time that we shooed you off. So thank you.
Even when I answered your joke with another joke and you didn't even reply back, I was trying to play along.
And also, no, Pazuzu's not up, so you lose. Goodbye.
I hung up because the only person who got the joke was Nika.
Okay, you know what? I would probably run away in shame as well.
All right. So, do you have a trivia question for us?
Yeah, I do. I have a legitimate question.
Okay.
14 or LBR?
It's Final Fantasy 14.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
All right. So, what is the name of the church you first find Sid at?
Oh no.
God.
Damn it.
Oh no.
We haven't been in that zone in literally 4 years.
I'm trying to even remember the scene you first find Sid. I'm having trouble.
I know where it is.
I know. I can see it.
Eastern.
They made you spend 4 fucking hours there doing quests.
Eastern Thonalon, right?
Yeah. Fuck.
It's not like Saint Coke Chan.
Oh, it is. No. It's Saint something.
Oh, wow, Saint. I got Saint.
I think
that's
you're
my
thinking. You're thinking of the thing in Mordona. I think is what you're
That's
thinking.
Saint Coinix, whatever.
Yeah,
that's not it. That's not it. That's
totally
definitely not it.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I'd like to use my 50-50.
We need to stump Ephes and see if anyone can stump Ephes. Because I think it's too easy with us guys.
That's what I said. But okay, let's focus, Nika. Not helping.
I'm trying.
Start throwing out random. Is it like a deity?
I don't think it has anything to do with anything else.
Saint,
do we get clues? Do we get clues?
Okay. A saint was the first word, and it's 3 words.
Oh shit! 3 words.
Is the last word church?
No.
Damn.
Right,
Saint Elmo's fire.
Oh, it's Church of Saint.
Saint Ajora?
Nope.
Dang it.
Damn, dude. I don't know. I got nothing.
No, I'm completely lost.
I think
I gave you all of my power with Saint.
I think. Are we in agreement then that we're all stumped, guys?
I commend you all for being in game and not opening up the map.
I mean,
the problem is,
we have Googles too, so we don't. But we're not cheating.
We're not going to cheat.
Yeah, we're not going to cheat.
No fun.
Not to mention my game's open 2 hours away.
1 hour away, yeah.
Okay, the answer is the Church of Saint Adama Ladama.
That's right, because it would always remind me of Battlestar Galactica. Captain Adama.
Yeah.
Oh.
That was one of the characters' names.
Gotcha.
Dama.
All right. So, what tier of prizes does Satori?
I feel really dumb for not knowing that.
Yeah, kind of me too.
No, how good? No, I mean, whatever. How are we rating the questions? I feel like asking what is the name of some random thing you haven't seen in a long time is not as clever.
Yeah, but I mean,
it was a good thought.
Yeah, but I mean, like, it's also a major plot point. They make you stay there for a long time. Yeah, that's a destination.
We bury some of the like original scions that died in that attack there too, don't we?
There.
We fought fireflies there.
Oh, wait, no, you don't bury the stealth there.
Oh, you don't bury them there? Okay, well, still.
No, well, you bury your camaraderies there. You give the stealth back to their.
Yeah. Okay, there we go. Yeah.
I mean, it was early 2.0 MSQ that we were there, but I mean, like,
you
still
had
though.
tears in your eyes before Husherfont became a thing.
I don't know. I'm inclined to think that this is a major tier.
Me too. I think he got us.
I'll go with you guys then.
I'll go with what you guys say.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Oh my god, I get a title talisman. Nice.
All right, you get the title talisman. That's
All
yours.
Right, Kooky will get that the appropriate information from you.
All right, congratulations, Satori. If you want to join in, Stump the Staff, Limit Break Radio on Skype 810-515-8715, limitbreakradio.com/Discord.
Never gonna forget Saint Adama Ladama now.
I'm probably gonna forget before I go home.
I just hear Saint Llama.
Yeah, it's Saint Adama the Llama.
Adama Llama.
Yeah.
The Dottie Llama.
The Dolly. Wow.
That's just like hearts and farts. It's just gonna be a thing now. It's Saint Dalai Lama. Good job.
Again, congratulations to Satori. If you want to join in, Limit Break Radio on Skype 810-515-8715, limitbreakradio.com/Discord. We do actually have the encyclopedia here too. I guess we could use that in an emergency reference, couldn't we?
Oh, we could.
That's our phone a friend. Phone a book.
Phone a book.
Check a look in a book. Check a book look.
Here's the thing. I don't think he realized that he just made a Devolver Digital reference.
What?
Check a look.
No, that's just what Ascalia says.
Yeah, which is from.
It's a Devolver Digital reference. Yeah.
Actually, there's in the Super Nintendo has a game, Krusty the Clown puzzle game, and in the back it says "Check a look, read a book." So that's where I got that from.
You just said you got it from Ascalia.
And him. He reminded me of the video game.
Oh, okay.
Is this conversation still happening?
It is.
Oh, God.
Well, you're making it keep going.
All right, let's go back to our phone lines and talk to Frumpy Raccoon of Sergeant Tannis. What's going on, Frumpy?
Hey, what's going on?
What's happening?
How you doing?
Our show's going on. You lose that question. Next.
Oh, good one. Yeah.
Fuck you, Frumpy.
Burn.
You got a trivia question for us?
LBR or
yeah, big
14?
time classic LBR.
Oh,
classic.
Oh.
Okay, I like these questions.
It's
all
go
right.
time,
okay.
motherfucker.
All right.
Okay, so unfortunately, back in the day, vintage Juxta lost at something. So you guys sent him on a quest to find Eruphalion. What would have been his reward if he had found him?
A new red mage spell.
Specifically, what red mage spell?
Oh, God.
I'm not even sure I was part of the show at this point.
You were not.
So.
You weren't.
Okay, so I have nothing.
I feel like it was like a GA2 spell or something. It was a spell that didn't even exist.
Oh, no.
Or at least didn't exist at the time.
Oh, Mary Kenneth says they know.
I'm not surprised that Miri knows.
What?
Come on,
Bell.
Come on, Juxta.
I don't know. You're the one that gave me that lied to me.
No, it was specifically as Kahlo that lied.
Yeah, Kahlo. Remember your lie.
It was a gospel?
Don't quote me on that.
It was a spell.
Or was it an end spell?
Do you remember?
Was it an end spell? I think it was an end spell.
The one that gave him a microphone?
No, it wasn't. No, stop.
No.
Shut up, Nika.
I'm trying to help. I have no idea.
Like, was it End Holy?
No,
Nope.
I don't think so.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I think it.
I don't think it was.
Was that around the time that what was the thing that you had made the joke on the FFXIV that it drops off a tie sai?
That was way after.
That was way after. Okay.
Was it N Waterga 2? Something stupid like that.
I mean,
I feel like that's what it was.
Your guess is better than mine.
All right, I'll go with an N water guy.
Yeah.
Fuck you. How the fuck did you? Oh my god.
Now, Frumpy, if it makes you feel any better, even had you stumped us, I would not have let you get away with a high tier prize because your original question was, what did you send him after? Like that was just it. You didn't. Your full question should have been specifically, what was it?
You want to know? You want to know how I remember that? You want to know how I remember that? Because it was in your reaction. It was in your reaction because he goes, we'll give you a new spell, and Waterga too, and you go, and Waterga too. It's just like it's this great. I've laughed at it enough times to remember it.
Can we get that as a drop?
We could, yeah.
Oh, well, hold on, because this is a pretty specific thing. So you must have a episode and timestamp for this, right?
I think I have an episode in timestamp.
Oh, right. Because he said that we got it right.
Yeah, I know.
Well,
it's just a pretty memorable moment.
Oh, okay, fair.
Yeah, no, that was a good question.
That was a good question.
Yeah,
that was a good question. I really want to give it a prize, but you lost, so fuck off.
Yeah, it's sad.
It happens.
We'll give you. Can we give him a consolation prize?
Okay.
For having a good question?
Yeah.
Okay.
For at least
get in contact with Kooky and let her know which metallic die you want. You can have one.
There you go. All right. Jesus Christ. Wow. All right. Thanks, Big Spender. Frumpy Raccoon, thank you so much for the call. We appreciate it. Again, listen, we if you want this bit to continue, because we're having fun doing it.
I love it.
We need your calls. Limit Break Radio on Skype, 810-515-8715. LimitBreakRadio.com/Discord. It's either that or I'm going to make you listen to that moment because I think I have it.
Oh my God, do it
as a clip.
I want to hear it.
I mean, I'd have to find it. So.
Oh,
that's a good clip.
Let's go back to our phone lines and talk to Crimson Light. Farron of Famfret. What's going on, Crimson Light?
All right. It's just another cold day here in Nebraska. I wish I was back home, but oh, hey, what can you do?
Our fucking don't talk to me about weather.
Yeah, fuck you.
Yeah, we've had snow the last 3 days.
You too.
Fuck you.
All right, is your question?
Fuck you.
No. Fuck you.
Fuck you.
Can I mute both of them?
What is going on right now?
It's an internet video.
No.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, on to my question. This is an LBR trivia question.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Okay. So a few years ago during Christmas, a caller had just made Ascalia storm out of the studio, and Aniro took this opportunity to tell the story of a very peculiar party he ran into during a trial roulette, which resulted in Callow becoming very frustrated and not knowing how to respond. So my question to the crew is, who were the party members and what were their jobs?
Oh, fuck you.
That is way too specific.
That is so oddly specific.
You know why?
Why?
Because this is the bit I wrote for Who's Tanking Titan. So, who's tanking Titan? Like, what's healing? I don't know is on Dragoon, and I don't give, like, you know that bit?
Yeah.
It's based on this?
Yeah, that's the story.
Yeah, that was the bit. Do you remember that was our Christmas special when we were all when I was there? It was who's
I don't remember.
Okay, so I can't. Okay, so what you're saying is that what he's asking isn't an actual party that a Nero had. It's
a joke, and he wants to know who I cast as
who the party was.
The party.
Yeah, Nero and Kyle read the bit.
Shit.
So
Yeah, and you wrote it, so you actually legitimately should know this.
I should know this, but there's no way I can know this.
Come on, you got to at least give it a shot.
I mean,
I wasn't sure. Listen, I wasn't. I was not 100. I was not 100% sure on Watergut too. So you've at least got to take a crack at it.
I think who is definitely tanking.
Who was tanking?
Who was tanking?
We're not doing the bit. The tank was who? Oh God. Oh my God. So. Let's see. What I'm gonna say was a scholar, and we'll go. God,
come on!
This is so hard.
Was there a where in there, or was it just who? What? When one of them? No.
Gosh.
That's a good question.
I think I don't know was the dragoon who was on the floor. Yeah, I'm just randomly throwing out things right now. I actually don't have any clue.
I mean, y'all are free to give up at any time.
But
we've got 15 minutes to kill.
yeah, we need more callers.
Oh my god.
Or we're sitting here guessing this one for 15 minutes.
I'm throwing in the towel.
I mean, there's no way I would know.
There's no way.
I don't think I was even on the bit. I don't think
you were.
it was.
And Nero and Callow read it back.
Yeah.
Oh, we did.
It was a script, and you read it.
It was a script. You two read it. Yep. I distinctly remember like cracking up as you guys were reading it.
Okay.
Hour mark.
So I mean, I could just look up the outline.
Nika's useless again, right?
I am. Yeah.
Okay.
I remember listening to it.
Oh, she was. Fuck you, Nika.
I know I was there. I already said I was there, and I distinctly remember who is tanking.
You're throwing in the towel.
Yeah.
A Nero.
Yeah,
we got one.
All right.
We got who.
Okay, hold on. So who was definitely tanking?
Yeah, who was tanking?
Okay.
Who was the warrior?
Yep. So next you would have done probably the healers.
Possibly.
All right. So what would have been?
What was probably a scholar?
And then
I don't know. Was
Astrologian?
No.
Okay, so it had to have been a white mage and a scholar then. Yeah. Okay, so you said what was the scholar? And I don't know. You said I don't know was a scholar.
You said I don't know was a dragoon.
Who was a scholar?
God damn it.
No, who was the warrior?
Yeah, who was tanking? What was a scholar and I don't know was a dragoon.
See, here's the problem.
They can all be interchangeable.
They can, and that's the problem, because even if we could think back to it, like
but I think it's in the bit.
I don't know was something like
do we want to hear the bit? Do we want to just hear the bit?
Did you find it?
Yeah, pull it up. Search it on Google. Just who's tanking Titan. It's on our YouTube. We'll play it.
Oh, there you go. Cool.
But this means he wins, correct?
Oh yeah. Crimson Light wins for sure.
I mean, I've got the list right here.
Well, we want to hear the.
No, yeah, we want to hear the bet.
Okay, if your list is wrong, you lose.
Okay. I mean,
so you had to have also interpreted the bit correctly.
Yeah, of course, absolutely. I mean, I can read the list for you, and then you guys can play the bit.
Are you? Do you got it, Juxta? It's literally the first thing that comes up for who's tanking Titan. Okay, hit play on it. Go ahead. A bit of a story, a bit of a really frustrating story.
Oh, God.
Save the speech for the father you continually disappoint.
Thanks.
That one hit
good drop. No, it's not a speech. I'm not gonna do the same thing that I did. Pause it for a second. By the way, this is gonna get meta as fuck. I just want everyone to know that this is gonna get. If you're listening right now, this is about to get very fucking confusing.
For those people who are hearing this for the first time, which year's Christmas special was this? How long ago was it?
2015.
Yeah. 2015.
2015.
3 fucking years ago.
So yeah,
Fuck you, caller.
This is a bit from 3 years ago that we're going back and listening to figure out. But we're going to be running commentary over top of it, I'm sure. So it's going to get really fucking confusing.
And a little bit of trivia: Nero's DPS back then was also 1951.
It's just a little story that I had while I was going through Duty Finder, and so I got this really, really bad Titan party, and I gotta let some steam off about it.
Okay, what the fuck were you doing in Titan?
I was doing a trial roulette, and I like the fire behind this. That was such a nice touch. Most fucking retarded names I've ever encountered.
Great. And who were they?
Who was tanking with me?
Who was?
Okay, and what was the white mage and I don't know was the scholar?
I thought you were telling us about their bed.
Okay, all right, hang on. So we've got who tanking?
Who tanking? He was a warrior.
He was co-tanking with me, right? And then it was
what's the white mage? And I don't know was a scholar.
And I don't know.
Okay, all right. And I don't know healed.
Why are you asking me?
No. Why fell off the platform?
Who did?
No, who tanked?
I don't know.
Scholar.
Scholar?
Scholar.
What's the scholar?
No, what's the white mage?
I don't know.
Scholar. Look, it's easy, okay? Who's the warrior? What's the white mage? I don't know is the scholar.
I wasn't there. How am I supposed to know?
Easy now. No need to yell.
Oh, okay, all right, just take it from the top. Who's the warrior?
Who?
The warrior.
Who?
The other tank.
Who?
The guy holding Titan.
Who?
Why?
No. He fell off the platform. Who tanked?
I don't know.
Scholar.
Just tell me, what's the warrior's name?
No. What's the white mage?
I'm not asking about the white mage. What's the warrior's name?
What's the white mage? Who's the warrior?
I don't know.
Scholar.
This is so good.
Wait, that's the end?
No. Keep going.
No, it keeps going.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say the only one that we've missed so far is why, and technically, as of
No, you
now,
said I don't know was the
You
dragoon.
guys got both the
actually.
healers reversed.
Yeah.
Jeez. Okay.
Hey, so who's the white mage?
No. Who's the warrior?
I don't care. What's the warrior? I want to know about the white mage.
No. What's the white mage?
I don't know.
Scholar.
Oh, okay, let's just... Did you have a dragoon, right?
Why?
You mentioned someone falling off. I thought I'd ask.
We did.
Okay, their name?
Why?
You're telling me this story. Just tell me the dragoon's name, all right?
No, the monk is right.
I'm not asking about the monk.
The monk
What's the
is
dragoon's
right.
name?
No. What's the white mage?
Who's the white mage?
No. Who's the warrior?
I don't know. Scholar!
We had a summoner too.
All right.
No, that's the monk. He's wrong.
There's something wrong with the monk.
No. The summoner's wrong. The monk is right.
What's wrong with the summoner?
No, what's the white mage?
What's the white mage and there's nothing wrong with the summoner?
That's wrong.
Right?
Now we're back to the monk.
Why?
He fell off the platform.
The monk did?
No, why?
You just mentioned the monk!
Right.
So he fell off.
Why?
Why what?
No, just why. What healed perfectly?
Who healed?
No, who tanked? What healed perfectly?
All right, healed perfectly?
What healed perfectly?
Okay, so we have what healing perfectly?
You got it.
Great. So, okay, perfectly tanking, what healing?
No. Who's tanking?
Perfectly?
He wasn't the best.
Okay, we have perfectly not tanking well, right?
Yes. Who wouldn't be tanking right? Right was punching Titan.
So I'm wrong.
No, the summoner's wrong.
Right.
The monk.
Why?
He fell off the platform.
Of course. So what's healing? The monk isn't wrong. Someone fell off a platform. Why? I don't know. In the last 5 minutes has made me not very happy.
Oh, that's our ninja.
Wait, what ninja?
No, what's the white mage?
I don't know. Scholar!
Why'd you have to ruin my story like that? I had a good story about some assholes in a Titan, right? You gotta just step all over it like that.
You know what? Me and you need to work on our communications.
I think we do.
I like the story.
That's it. All right, Crimson Light.
That was a good one.
You win.
You're a dick. I completely forgot about right and wrong.
Oh boy.
Oh, okay. All right.
That sounded like a drop, but I didn't hit that.
But also, I missed that last one. Was
That wasn't us.
it not happy as the ninja? Something like that?
Yeah, not very happy was the ninja. Yes.
Lars in the chat says, "Yeah, that was just who's on first."
Well, yeah, that was good
No
point.
shit.
Good job.
Jesus.
But by the way, not very happy is the distant cousin to Mr. Happy. Just so you know.
Nika introduced us at the wedding.
All right, Crimson Light Fair. So does he get a major or minor reward?
That's a minor.
Really? Why?
No.
Naming all of them, that was a hard question.
That's a hard question.
I don't think we could have.
We only got one of them.
You know what? I'm saying that we got half of them, even though we might have got the
No, we got two of them.
No, because we said who,
We
what,
forgot
and
right
I don't
wrong,
know.
Not very happy, and whatever won the dragoon fell.
You get a major prize. Fuck it, you get a major prize.
Give him a major.
Thanks, Aniro.
Yeah, what do you want? What do you want?
Okay, what's the major prizes?
We've got a Final Fantasy XI Piano Collection CD. We've got a copy of A New World Intimate Music from Final Fantasy. We've got a Heaven's Word banner that hung in the LBR studios. We've got a FF11 Atlas, a Distant Worlds program, and a bag, one of those gigantic con bags for... Was this for...
Stormblood, wasn't it?
Yes, this is a Stormblood bag signed by Yosheep. Those are your
that the one where one side is Stormblood and one side like FF12, the new release one?
That's a good question. Hang on.
Because I have one that's one side FF12 and one side.
No, one side is the Stormblood, the Stormblood that would come on, like the image that
with Lise.
Yeah, that has all of the main characters on it, and then on the other side it's just
a fucking weeaboo.
Yeah, it's just Xenos. Yeah. Yep. So
okay. So you had what were the CDs? You had the
we've got the Final Fantasy XI Pianos collection. We've also got a New World music from Final Fantasy, and you know what? These are also sitting in front of me, so why not? I'll throw these in the option as well. Distant Worlds 2, although that CD is missing, so that I can't give away.
Just kidding.
The original Distant Worlds double CD. That's your third option.
Oh, that is a toughie.
Is it a double CD? No, it's not a double CD. It's just one CD. It's just the original Distant World Zone. So there you go.
How about that first one you said? That first CD you said.
The FF11 Piano Collection CD?
No, the one, the more recent.
A New World intimate music from Final Fantasy. By the way, this show is touring right now. So if you want to know if it's coming to a city near you, make sure you check it out. Yeah, again, it's called A New World.
Let's do that one.
All right, it's yours, Crimson Light. Congratulations. Awesome. Get with Kooky. We'll get those sent out to you.
Speaking of that, I just want to plug that at Otakon in Washington, D.C. this August, both Distant Worlds and A New World are going to be at Otakon, and I'm going to be at both.
Nice.
So if you're going to be there, I got VIP for both. You'll know where to find me. I'll be in whatever that section is.
That's awesome.
Say hi. It's going to be awesome. I'm so excited.
I'm pretty sure A New World is coming to Ann Arbor, and I really want to go.
A New World's never been in this area, and Distant Worlds has not been in D.C. since 2010. So I'm really excited. Good. Shut up.
I don't want you to be happy, Nico.
No, that is, dude, that is really exciting though. Like that's.
It is. Look, I have it set so that every time a Distant World or New Worlds post on Facebook, I get a notification instantly. And look, I've been watching every single concert. Like for when they're like, "Oh, it's the 30th anniversary. Distant Worlds is going to get so many new locations," and it's like returning to the same look. I'm like, "Fuck you! You have not been in DC since 2010."
I know that they've got dates coming up. Yeah, in Washington D.C. is one of them.
That's at Otakon.
There's dates.
Ohio, isn't there?
Vancouver is one. I don't know about Ohio, but I know Vancouver's in there. I mean, you can find out all of the information at ffdistantworlds.com. But yeah, there's a lot of really great concerts coming up, and yeah, super exciting about it. Let me see here. We've got Paris, Vancouver, Cleveland, Ohio is coming up. San Francisco, Washington, D.C., Seattle is in there, Durham, North Carolina, Hamburg, Germany, Berlin, Germany, Dusseldorf, Denver's in there as well. Two dates. Actually, 2 dates. There's 2 dates in Denver in May 2019. So
man, fuck Denver.
They've got a pretty comprehensive tour schedule. Again, if you want to check that out, that's ffdistantworlds.com. And I'm sure that there's also links in there to
I think it's FF A New World.
I think so. Yeah, something like that. Anyway, all right. We've got another caller here that wants to give their
Try
shot.
their luck.
Esh of Cactar. What's going on, Ish?
Hey, how's it going?
Thanks for calling Limit Break Radio.
Good-ish.
I see what you did there. So, go ahead with your trivia question. Is it a LBR trivia question or an FF14 trivia question?
It's a 14 question.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
I'm going to read you a item description that grants you a minion, and I want to know what minion it is.
Oh.
Ooh, okay.
This is good. Okay. All right. Go ahead.
All right. Rumors that the gods kill one of these adorable creatures every time a young man thinks pleasurable thoughts are unfounded.
It's either the puppy or the kitten. It's one of those two.
I think it's the Coral kitten.
No, I don't think it's that one. There's a cat and a dog one. It's one of those ones, I think. Let me think.
Yeah, the Coral kitten is a
yeah. Okay, so it's got to be based off of that thing around.
If you masturbate, God kills a kitten. Is the one that I'm familiar with.
It's got to be a kitten. It's got to be the cat one. What's the cat one called?
The Coral kitten.
The Coral kitten.
Coral cub.
There's another cat, isn't there?
Is there?
Isn't there a black cat in the casino?
I feel like there is. Yeah. Which one is it?
If it's a black cat, though, I feel like that's more along the lines of like you get like a Halloween joke or like 7 years bad luck type deal from that one. I would put my vote towards the coral kitten.
I like that idea.
By the way, I love that description. That's a hilarious description. Ish, was it the coral kitten?
It was the Gala kitten.
Oh!
Gala cat.
It is the Gala cat.
Okay.
Fuck. All right.
Fair enough.
All right. Is that a major or minor prize?
You know, I feel like on our last Stump the Host, we actually disqualified someone for asking us a question that referenced a Minion subtext for the answer.
What, really? I thought that was a good one because I read every single one of those.
Well, I think in that case, it was because the Minion, the answer was something that kind of contradicted popular opinion. It was on a Minion that was like from some type of special edition type deal. But I don't know. What do you guys think? I could go either way with this one.
Because the Gala Cat Minion is very common, so I feel like we would, and I feel like if actually any of us genuinely read that description, that it would stick out in our heads.
See, the fact that it's the description upon using it and not upon reading it in the thing, I think is what got us.
Yeah,
it is. I'm looking at it right now. It's the one where you mouse over it, not the one where you actually click and read on it.
Yeah. All right. I'll give him a major.
Okay. All right. Major prize. Of the major prizes that are left, you can get, let's see, we've got 2 CDs. Two CDs that are left. The FF11 Piano Collection. We've got a copy of the original Distant Worlds, and I'm actually going to pair that up with the program. With the program here. So if you take the Distant Worlds CD, you also get a program from Distant Worlds. We've got the Con Bag, the Stormblood Bag, signed by Yosheep, Heavensward banner that hung in the LBR studios, and the FF11 Atlas that may or may not contain pages stuck together with one or more of our jism. So those are your choices.
Could I get the Stormblood bag?
Stormblood bag it is, not the Jism map book. That's probably a good option. All right, Stormblood bag going out to Ish.
Yep, make sure you give your info to Kookie, please.
Yes, Kookie will grab your info and we will get that out to you. I think we've got one more caller.
All right, perfect.
So I mean, we've given away. I think we've given away some of the best prizes that we've that have been sitting in our prize closet for quite a while.
I would have probably went with the talisman first, and my second one would have been the piano collection.
Dude, I would have taken that bag instantly.
Chocobo.
Why is it going to be worth money in the future?
Fat Chocobo is still up for grabs.
Fat Chocobo. All right,
nobody grabbed the Fat Chocobo.
I would have went Fat Chocobo, then Title Talisman.
Yeah.
I have the Fat Chocobo, and let me tell you, he's super squishy and cuddly. He's the best thing ever.
He's so fat. We might as well call it Chris Chocobo.
What?
Because you're fat.
I don't get it.
Oh, okay.
I also have the fat cat. And
you know how there's like the Kooky Chocobo, right? They should call the Fat Chocobo Juxta Chocobo.
Juxtabo.
Okay, I'd be fine with that.
Yeah, that'd be all right.
Okay, fine.
All right, let's go back to our phone lines and talk to Doris Ginevanian from Kujata. What's going on, Doris?
Well, hold on, they're not in.
For crying out loud!
They're not in on hold.
While you fix that, Bola in the chat says, "If I stump you, can I mute Juxta for an entire episode?"
Oh, what?
Yes.
Go back to old school LBR rules?
Yeah.
No, like that's their prize.
Yeah.
You don't get any other prize, but if you choose that as your prize, I say yes.
Absolutely. In fact, anybody going forward can choose that.
Fun size Juxta Chocobo.
Fun size Juxta Chocobo. Yes, if you're looking to make a clone of any one of us, you can feel free to use the DNA found in said maps book. So
it'll be a Nero. Or maybe Juxta. They do some weird stuff together.
Anyway, are we working on our caller here?
I'm still trying to figure out Skype because it's a piece of shit.
Well, way to go, Skype. Anyway, while we wait for Juxta to get his shit together, Limit Break Radio on Skype, 810-515-8715, limitbreakradio.com/Discord is how you get a hold of us.
Call in and stump us.
Yeah. Most of our big prizes are gone. We've got a couple other ones too. We've got a couple of posters here.
Yeah, what are those over there? Let me take a look.
Yeah. I think one of them is like Final Fantasy Brave Exvius or some shit.
Mobius.
Yeah, Mobius and one is Brave Exvius. Yeah, they're not great.
Those too.
Yeah, we could poop on them, I guess, too.
Lick them.
Why do you guys do this?
I mean, I'm just.
Why are you like?
I'm just saying.
Okay, I think I got them on.
Okay, all right. So let's go back to our phone lines and talk to Doris Genovanian. What's going on, Doris?
Hello, how are you?
Hey, what's going on? Thanks for calling Limit Break Radio.
Thank you.
All right, so you got a question for us?
Yeah.
All right, is it a Limit Break Radio question or is it an FF14 question?
FF14.
Oh boy. All right, go ahead when you're ready.
Okay. So what are the 4 high houses of Ishgard called?
The 4 what?
The 4 high houses of Ishgard. All right, so obviously we have the Harshafont house, right?
But that's not the name.
House 4 Temps.
House 4 Tom.
Jesus Christ.
4 Tom.
At least get one of them right.
We also have Zamail.
Zamail.
Yep.
There's a D one, Zamail.
We literally just said that one.
Dumb
you said Zumail. It's Zamail.
Zamail.
Okay,
Zamail. Mr. Expert, keep going.
Zamail. What is Fancy Boy's house?
Is there a flower one?
What's Nika, your boyfriend, Fancy Boy, Fancy Pants?
Emmerich.
How do you not know Emmerich's house?
Oh my God, Nika.
Give me a second. It'll come to me.
Will it?
It will.
It better. A prize is on the line.
We need 2 more. Usually, all right. Think of the map. What is on the map that because Zamail Darkhold, right, was how I remembered that one.
Right.
What else is on the map that might be named after them?
Oh shit.
Nika, what is Emmerich's last fucking name?
God, I'll get it. I'm thinking.
You're not thinking.
I am thinking really hard. It's God.
We're putting
what to start with.
All the blame on you if you don't remember his last name.
Because technically he's like the bastard child of Thorin. So that doesn't help though.
No, it doesn't help.
God, fuck.
Is there one like
excuse me?
Like, wasn't there one that ends in VIOX? So it's like Schwab, but it's pronounced like Vworks. Or am I just thinking of Louis Swex?
Louis Swa?
Yeah, see, like that.
Shit.
It's
No.
God, fuck.
Sir, come on. What's his name? Sir Emmerich what?
Nika, if we have to give away a prize, I'm not just holding you personally, but emotionally.
I don't know if Emmerich is from one of the houses.
You know what? I bet Nika like makes Emmerich do his own laundry. She doesn't even deny it.
Come on, it's not his last name is not Bay.
Emmerich's not one of the houses. I don't think so. I'm putting that down.
What?
There's Hala something, not Emmerich's.
Hala.
Halinart? Something like that. It's not Emmerich's name. There's another one that sounds
Oh, yeah.
I think it's Helenart.
Helen away. There's no hard T's in French.
That's the flower one.
The tower one?
Oh, no, the flower one.
The flower one.
So, all right. First of all, I need to point something out. We here at Limit Break Radio suck at pronunciation. All right, so
so obviously, if we get it,
if we're on the right track,
that counts.
That counts. Yes. Okay. So all right. So we know 4 Temps is 1, correct?
Yes.
All right, and we know that Zamail is 1, right? Okay.
Yeah, definite.
Is Helena or whatever, is that one of them, Mr. Questioner?
Yes.
Doors. Okay. All right.
Okay. So we have one more to go.
There's one more.
Damn it.
Emmerich's not one of them.
Okay, but I still want to know his last name.
Can we focus?
Yeah, let's actually answer the question. Yeah. You're not going to get anything from me. I don't know. I have no idea.
This was your expansion.
I mean...
This is Ascalia's expansion.
No, he had Dark Knights. So
oh, okay. Fair enough.
But the question isn't asking anything about Dark Knights.
So?
Not like I could answer it if they did.
I looked up Emmerich's last name, and I'm not going to say it because it has nothing to do with anything we never would have known.
You can still tell me what it is.
It's not in the game.
Fuck off, Morgan Freeman. I already got one right.
Yeah, we got one right.
We got 3 right, Morgan.
We did?
No, he's talking about one overall question, which I got right.
Oh,
all right. To be fair, if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't have got the water gut one either.
That's what I'm talking about.
No, I thought you meant you got one of the houses right.
Jesus fucking Christ!
How is he so dumb?
I don't know. It's like he fucking. It's like he's stroked out for the entirety of this episode.
I know. Oh my God.
Emmerich's last name is DeBorel, and that is not one of the houses. DE space BOREL. That is not in the game. It's something that's like lore book only. Did you look that up?
Sounds like he wants to balls on his mouth.
I think Nika's cheating.
I'm not looking up the houses. I looked up Emmerich's last name. And
but what if it would have been?
As far as I remember, that is not a house name.
All right,
and I'm
you know
putting
what?
my foot down there.
I want to use it as our last house name.
It's not a
and
house
if it
name.
is the house, then A, we lose because we cheated, and then B, we also get to make fun of Nika.
Yeah. All right, that's our final answer.
Yeah, that his last name.
It's not.
Okay, so you guys are cheaters, and and you didn't get it correct.
Oh, we cheated and didn't know. Well, Nika's going to say that because it's not correct, it wasn't cheating.
It wasn't, because you said you wanted to know Emmerich's name, so I looked it up for you.
Actually, you know what? No, hold on. How do you know that it's not his last name, Nika, if you didn't already cheat and find out what the last house was?
Ooh. I didn't look. I just remembered DeBorel wasn't a name of a house, because when I read that...
You don't know, though.
You don't know.
If you don't know. Yeah, if you don't know the name of the house, then you don't know.
Because when he says it, I'm going to recognize it. Durandare. There it is in the fucking chat. There. Duh. That's it. Like, I would have known, like, I knew the names of the houses. And I knew that DeBorel was not what I'm telling you. Someone said his name's not DeBorel. I'm looking at it in the fucking lore book. It's right in front of my face. Sir Emmerich DeBorel is the Lord Commander of the Temple Knights. Don't fucking tell me his name's not DeBorel. It's right fucking there. Don't even. It's in the lore book in front. It's like I'm pointing at it right
Nika.
Now. Do I get a point for triggering Nika?
Nika.
No, the lore book. Moxath is
the lore book doesn't count. Only in-game references. So unless you can find Deborah in-game, I'm not accepting it.
Okay, fine.
All right, Doris. That means that you win a prize. I feel like we would be dicks to go. You get a minor prize.
Yeah, you get a minor prize. This is a good one. This is a good one.
All right, of our prizes remaining, you've got the FF11 Piano Collection, Distant Worlds with a copy of the Distant Worlds program, the FF14 Heavensward banner that hung in the LBR studio. We can sign it too if you want, and the Jism map book.
And the Fat Chocobo plush.
And Chocobo plush.
That too.
Could I please have Chocobo plushie?
Fat Chocobo plushie it is.
You can have the Juxtabo. Yep.
All right, make sure that Kooky gets your information. We'll make sure to get that out to you. Congratulations, Doris.
I'd like to point out to Majoga in the chat says girls get psycho when caught in a lie.
It's so true.
I wasn't caught in a lie. I looked it up because I wanted to know. I wasn't lying. Also, just for my own personal
teach the controversy.
Trivia. So now everyone will have this trivia. House Borel is one of the minor houses, and he was adopted because we know he's the bastard son of Thornton. He was adopted by House Borel, and his sword is an heirloom of House Borel. So yes, Borel is definitely his last name. Fuck off.
Liar.
Get out of here.
Okay. All right, we got one more.
Whatever you say, cheater.
Even though we're 15 minutes over time,
I wanted to cheat. I could have looked up the actual name.
We're going to take one more call, although I'm pretty sure he can't win anything. What's going on, Skuro? Hi.
Skuro?
What's up?
Skuro can't win, yeah.
You are part of our staff, you moron.
So I can't get free stuff?
No, you can't. But you can ask a question.
Yeah, and then, so we can shame you.
Yeah.
Okay, so I got one from Old Limit Break Radio.
Ooh.
Okay. So, who has the hottest mom?
Spaz.
Who has the hottest mom? Spaz. Yeah, Spaz's mom is. Yeah, there.
Spaz's mom has got it going on.
Dude. You are so terrible. That was your question?
That's why we held up the show for extra 3 minutes.
You know what? Maybe had I been able to win something, maybe I would have put more thought into it.
You know, I have a question for you. Who has the hottest sister? Skuro. Both of them. You were adopted.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd argue my sister's hotter.
Do we have to? All right, we got to see proof now, Nika.
No,
that's a pretty tall claim.
Here's the thing. She looks a little bit like Nika, though. So
what?
Yeah.
How is that even remotely?
My sister's hotter than me.
I mean, that's true, but there you can still see the resemblance.
A pile of dog shit is probably hotter than you, Nika.
Jesus,
You're gonna be
that's
that
so
mean.
rude.
No, yeah, I'm gonna say because one of Skrull's sisters, I think the younger one, and then Nika's sister, then Skrull's other sister.
I actually don't know what Skrull is.
But Spaz's mom above all of them.
Who is Spaz? I don't know who that is.
Nika, Jesus.
Nika, we obviously know that you don't listen to the new shows, but why would you?
Why would you listen
I
to
go
the
back
old
and listen
You
to the old
clearly did
school
not
ones?
even listen to the old shows back when you were, quote, a supposed fan.
Mr. Jack says,
Are
Nika.
you kidding? I barely listened to the show before I was
Nika,
on it.
stop talking about how hot your sister is, you creep. Fan
You
art,
wanna
please.
eat my sister?
Fan art.
Apparently, Frumpy Raccoon wants one more attempt.
try.
shot?
All right. I don't know that I'm gonna.
Did he lose?
He did.
He's the one who did the water good too.
No, you know what? He can ask another question, but I don't know if he's gonna get it. He's gonna be a really fucking good question.
He
if he wants
might
a
be
prize.
reduced to only a minor prize.
Well, apparently he wants to ask an LBR question. So should we let him?
Yeah, okay, let's okay, before we make any rash decisions about prize giveaways, let's see what his question is and how we do with it.
All right, Frumpy, what's going on? You get one more shot. We normally don't do shit like this.
But because you're part of the cult of Juxta, we allow it.
That's not why we're allowing it, but you know what? Go ahead, ask your other question.
Hashtag praise Juxta. So I need to redeem myself.
Okay.
What was the first job you discussed on Classic LBR? Officially in the show notes.
Like the first episode?
The first job.
Like the first job episode.
Yeah, we didn't get into doing job episodes for a minute.
It's listed in the show notes, the first official job.
Okay, so like on episode 1, what did we talk about?
No.
It was
No, because you didn't talk about jobs.
episode 1, but
It was like when you had a job episode.
Yeah, I'm trying to think because that was sort of the auspices that we were bringing in guests on.
It was one of our first ones.
Spaz was one of our first guests. Was it Blue Mage? I think it was Blue Mage.
Hold on. We did bring Spaz on for Blue Mage, but was he?
I think he was talking about PvP.
Oh, you're right. He was.
And you didn't do job episodes until Ergon was already out?
No, that's definitely not true.
Yeah.
I don't think we started the show until Ergon was out.
Actually, you know what? I bet you're right.
Yeah.
But I think.
I feel like we did one of the newer jobs because we wanted to make sure that
we did it right.
Oh no, hold on. That would make sense if we hadn't started doing job episodes. A new job comes out and we're like, hey, let's talk about this job, this episode.
Yeah.
Right. And then from there we're like, oh, we could do these other ones.
Probably wouldn't do Corsair. Probably wouldn't do Pup because LOL Pup.
Right.
So I guess it probably does have to be Blue Mage.
Was it Blue Mage? I think
Here's the other thing. Now I kind of feel like I'm also thinking about like the other job episodes that we did. I'm
99% sure that it was Blue Mage. Because I think we talked to Spaz about PvP as a Blue Mage, but that was just a facet of the conversation.
Okay, do we want to go with Spaz then?
I think it was Spaz, and I think it was Blue Mage.
All right.
Because Spaz even predated Gamer.
Oh, yeah.
Spaz came on before fucking Gamer. It's got to be Spaz.
All right. Final answer. We're going to go with Blue Mage Spaz.
How did you get that? Are you kidding?
Get the fuck out of here, Frumpy Raccoon.
We were just talking about Spaz. We were just talking about Spaz.
Yeah, if it had been a different episode, like he was in their brains right now.
I don't know.
Yeah, Skuro Skuro definitely put us on the right path. So Skuro, once again, you fucked up Frumpy Raccoon. You piece of shit.
Yeah.
Frumpy Raccoon, you really are part of the Juxta cult because you're a failure.
If you guys had pushed back on Blue Mage, because I said it before he even said it in the chat. I said it out loud before anyone had said it. I would have advocated for it.
No, I mean talking about Skuro talking about Spaz's mom for his question. That's what I was talking about.
Oh, right.
Because for some reason, Sleek was standing out in my head, and I know that we had him on.
Sleek, I remember that.
We had him on for the Thief one, but
that was early on because
it was early too. But I didn't think.
No, I think you're right. I think the psychology behind that decision was, hey, the Otteragon has just come out. Yeah. Most people don't know how Blue Mage works, or
that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I think I think that was the reason.
Impetus to start the whole job episode.
Yes, and then it just kind of continued on from there. Sorry, man, that's 0 for 2.
You know what?
Right, thanks,
and actually,
guys.
because you sucked twice, you don't get that that die
no,
now.
That's not nice.
Nope,
His
taking it
other
back.
question was good.
He passed on it anyway. He didn't want it.
Oh, well, fuck you. Fuck you.
I don't want your shitty die, Kahlo.
It's not my shitty die. It's Square Enix's shitty die.
Well, now it's your shitty
metallic die for free, man. I would take it.
It's probably worth $10K in the auction house. Let's be honest.
You can't sell those ones though. They're untradeable if you get them off the cash shop.
Okay, yeah, but you can get the normal ones and they're worthless.
No, there are some that
they're
are
like
specific to cash shop.
Oh, the black and white ones are like 50,
Okay, yeah,
60K.
the black and white ones, yes. But we were talking about. Did we tell them that we're going to get them a metallic die?
Well, technically,
right?
I said metallic. It could have just been a die.
Like no. We said metallic die.
Well, he gave it up anyway, so fuck him.
Okay,
There's
but I'm just saying that he doesn't get a pure black or a black pitch
He's in
white.
your cult. Why are you being so mean to him?
I'm just saying that he has to get a metallic die.
He doesn't have to get anything because he passed on it.
I'm just saying. Well, that's what he would have gotten.
Anyway. That's it. The game's over. Thank you for all of our participants. Appreciate it. This was fun.
I like doing this.
I like trivia.
We didn't do very good though at all.
No, we
I
didn't.
like the FF trivia so I can actually help. You ask old school LBR questions, I have no fucking.
Well, they could always ask new school LBR questions.
They could
too.
ask.
Yeah, the Who's on First one was good.
The mid-school LBR question.
Mid-school. There you go.
Yeah. You guys got to remember that there were later days to the 11 episodes where there was just chaos on who was going to be there on an episode-to-episode basis.
Who was tanking?
God damn it.
I'm going to punch him.
Yeah.
I swear to God. Anyway, all right.
And also, Nika, you could definitely re-listen to any of the episodes, so you would have.
Yeah, but I'm not going to go back and listen to FF11. God, those are so painful. I'm not going to go back to those.
Why? Wait, what? Okay, hang on. This
all talk about how those
this
episodes
feels
are
like
painful.
some
You can't put that on me
criticism.
now.
Yeah, this sounds like Nika's getting on her high horse, speaking down upon us lesser 11 players.
Yeah.
What
is
we
that all
all talk about how painful doing the FF11 show was because we tried to be more PC and we just read off the wiki. Like, we talk about that all the time. Don't try to pin that on me.
Was Nika ever on the LBR 11?
Oh, yeah.
Was she?
Yes, I joined in 2009 and I was on it until it ended after that.
I don't know that you showed up for every episode, but
no, but
we
I
could
was
just say that.
Mostly every episode. Like every episode until I graduated from CMU, I was there. And then there was like after I moved, we still did a bunch like across Skype.
I like Wargirl in the chat saying Nika wouldn't get any new LBR questions right.
Yeah, you don't know that.
Okay, all right, Nika. What was the last Limit Break Radio episode for FF11 about? What was the main topic of discussion?
God,
I
don't
even know
remember.
this.
It was one
And
of
I wasn't there.
one of the content things though. It was like
I mean, what does that mean? What the content?
I mean, it's one of the new added content for with one of the patches or whatever.
Can I answer?
I know what it was. It was about a Nero having to leave mid-show and...
no, that happened, but that's not what it was about.
Was it not part 2 of the Great Final Fantasy debate?
Nope.
No, I know. I was
I'm
there
pretty
for
sure
the
this
battle.
was Wings of the Goddess missions.
Wings of the Goddess missions.
Boom! Got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good job, Nika. Way to be up and up.
Yeah.
Idiot.
What? Jesus.
Who did we make a host in like the last 3 episodes of the show?
Tam2?
No.
No. Come on, Nika. This is your question.
Oh, this is for me?
Yeah.
Yes. Because you were
I might not have
apparently
been
a
on the last
host.
3 episodes, apparently.
Good God.
Arjit?
Nope.
I know who it is.
Yeah. You would.
You're so dumb, Nika.
There was an entire skit about it.
You are so dumb.
I don't know. I don't remember.
It's me, you moron.
Oh, that's right.
God. See,
Okay,
this
see,
is...
I forget that you weren't technically a host before because you were an intern.
You see, if you were actually part of the show, you would remember that I was an intern up until the very,
God.
very end.
Yeah, but you had a mic, unlike our current intern that doesn't have one. So I always considered you a host back then.
It did take.
I considered you an equal even back then.
I think it took until at least like the last like 5 episodes for us to officially recognize you as a host.
Yeah, I mean, that was the bit.
Yeah.
Nika doesn't understand bits or comedy or humor.
All right, guys, that's going to be it for Limit Break Radio this week. Thank you so much for tuning in. Appreciate having you as always. Come back next week.
Super fun giving away stuff because we're dumb.
Yeah. Apparently, we're emptying our vault so we can cancel the show.
If we were going to cancel the show, we would keep the vault and everything inside of it.
It's more true than you know. Anyway. Anyway, that's going to be it for Limit Break Radio this week. Thanks, guys, for hanging out and for calling the show, for your trivia questions. It was a lot of fun. And of course, we will be back next week, or maybe there might be more Dino Tracks. You never know. But no, we'll be back next week. You can join us each and every single Sunday at twitch.tv/Limit Break Radio to join us live if you want to call in on the show. Maybe you only listen on the podcast, but you'd like to join in on the conversation. Again, Sundays at 4 p.m. here at twitch.tv/Limit Break Radio. I do want to remind everyone this show is supported over at patreon.com/Limit Break Radio. And you know, if you listen to the show every week and you enjoy yourself, then maybe consider making the commitment over at patreon.com/Limit Break Radio to support the show. We're currently trying to get our coffers back up over 1,300 so that we can bring back Final Encounter Cast as Let's Be Real, and then once we get to 2,000, we'll be able to make that show weekly. So those are your goals over at patreon.com/Limit Break Radio. If you've been holding back on your support, maybe a financial situation didn't let you, or maybe you just didn't think we earned it, then maybe reevaluate that situation. Again, patreon.com/Limit Break Radio. All right, that's going to be it for Limit Break Radio this week. I want to thank my crew. I want to thank everyone listening, of course, and I want to thank my crew: Juxtaposition, Nika Kayanian, Kahlo Landis, and Kookie for taking all those calls. Kookie has been a big help this week. No thanks to Skrull for his stupid, dumb question.
Yeah.
Failure. Anyway, that's going to be it. I'm an hero. Keep listening. Limit Break Radio is a production of LimitBreakRadio.com and Bender Media Productions. This episode was produced by Kahlo Landis, Juxtaposition, and Kookie Persona. Final Fantasy XIV and Eorzea are trademarks of Square-Enix. Funding for Limit Break Radio is provided by Miri Kennett, Nexian Theta, Hirsch Fersch, and fellow Limit Break Radio listeners. To support Limit Break Radio, visit patreon.com/Limit Break Radio. Opening music in this episode from Daniel Lambie. Listen to Man with the Machine Gun and other great tracks at facebook.com/Daniel Lambie Metal Gamer. Closing music in this episode provided by Husky by the Geek. Listen to this and other great Final Fantasy XIV and video game rock covers and original music at facebook.com/Husky by the Geek. In-game graphics for Limit Break Radio's Twitch stream are provided by Diamond Multimedia. Check out their line of AMD graphics cards and other hardware at diamondmm.com. Limit Break Radio and its hosts are solely responsible for its content. Hey, thanks everyone for listening to episode 153 of Limit Break Radio. We're going to be